have for you. I'm going to turn it on over to Marshall and Paul.
Yeah, thank you, Mira. Welcome to the booth. It's time for the finals. Marshall Sutcliffe with Paul Cheon. It is our great pleasure to bring you coverage of this mirror match at Selesnya Landfall. Not quite a full 75 Carter, but about as close as you can get.
Yeah, and I mean, just talk about a showing, just dominating the field with the highest win rate of any deck, and then seeing it in the finals here amongst two different Pro Tour champions.
That's right, two teammates, two Pro Tour champions, and two friends, as it turns out. And both of them with success recently. In one of them's case, the very last Pro Tour, in which case Chris Larsen had won it. And we heard Maria talk about Nathan Steuer and his incredible run a few years ago. Larsen going for history. Yeah. Nobody has ever won back-to-back individual Pro Tours, and this is a chance for that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely incredible. I still can't believe it. I mean, it is just so hard to just top 8 any one of these events, right? You do it once, that's a lifetime achievement for most players. The fact that Christoffer Larsen, I mean, he's been playing the game for 20 years. All of a sudden, he's on one of the biggest heater, I mean, the biggest heater of his life, with a chance at being the only person to go back-to-back individual Pro Tour title victories.
Unbelievable stuff from both of our competitors here. Two of the best in the game. And as you can see, not only teammates, but close friends as well. A big hug between our competitors, and I expect them to be pretty chatty.
They're going right to the action here.
Chocobo here for Larsen. Steuer leaves things off with Llanowar Elves.
Now Chris Larsen does have Badger Mole Cub here on turn number 2. Likely going to be running this out here. Now, both of these players did play against once in the Swiss. Christoffer Larsen did come out victorious there.
19?
Yeah. How did I already lose my pen? Oh, it's there.
Not
yeah, but I put it in my hand and didn't walk out with it.
Just casually playing in the finals of the Pro Tour. Can't find your pen.
That is really funny. Thankfully, you can still win a Pro Tour and borrow somebody's pen.
That's right. So good start here for both players. Nathan Steuer with Llanowar Elf turn 1 and Badger Mole Cub on turn number 2, meaning he can play potentially multiple spells this turn. He can go, but oh yeah, and he's going for the Badger Mole Cub onto the Fabled Passage to get some additional landfall triggers available. Keeps the land back, so now what you can do is just actually block the Saz's Chocobo if it gets out of hand, and then sacrifice the Fabled Passage. Save yourself a few life points.
Is that what this is going to come down to? Is it chipping away for a few life points here or there, or are we talking kind of not a lot and then all of a sudden attack for 40?
I mean, it really depends. If both players kind of go off to similarly fast starts, then yes, at some point a flurry of land drops in conjunction with Earthbender Ascension plus Mindform Harmonizer can certainly get it done. But sometimes a well-timed removal spell can break that all up. You know, we saw in the previous time they played each other how important a card like a Road was in the matchup, right? Hey, if I'm going to go all in on a big creature, try to make a 16 power attacker, well, what better way to actually just use a 1-mana spell to kind of break that up? Additionally, in this deck that really cares about putting a bunch of lands into play on your turn, we've even seen Erode being used as a combat trick to be able to push through the final few points of damage with an additional Mindform Harmonizer trigger, or with a card like the Hydra, which you see 4 copies of out of the sideboard.
Yeah, I mean, that can be the difference between 16 and 32 damage.
Right.
Pretty well built out board for both players here. Larsen, it does have the Earthbender Ascension now.
Yeah.
That's the reason why you didn't get the deck. I don't know why I shuffled, I was thinking.
I mean, I figured.
Yeah.
Wow, these players are way ahead of the game,
right.
It turns out. And there's the block and sack that you mentioned before. And of course, the Fabled Passage will go back onto the battlefield.
Yeah, so a massive, massive board here from Christoffer Larsen, having access to 6 mana at the very least with those animated lands and that Badger Mole Cub on the battlefield. But Nathan not that far behind, at least in terms of mana, being able to block, go get a land, and then Fabled Passage in play for next turn with that Badger Mole Cub in play. Now, no doubling effects for Christoffer Larsen. right? So there is that at the very least. There's no Mindform Harmonizer that can maybe get a kill out of nowhere. And no Ice Still Explorer either. But keep in mind, this is a leaner version of the typical mono-green landfall decks. Most of the mono-green landfall decks, in fact, basically all of them, play the full 4 copies of Ice Still Explorer. However, the Silesian landfall decks play 1 to 2 copies.
And I'm at...
That's really the thing that you had to give up.
Right. Yeah,
we've seen Ice Still Explorer be one of the best cards of the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, having access to those 4 erodes, they've been very, very impressive throughout the entire course of this tournament. So you have to find slots for those. Of course, you can't really sacrifice the mana ramp slots, so you need to find them elsewhere.
Yeah, even a little bit of interaction goes such a long way against your toughest matchups, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Steuer's turn now. And he's got 6 cards in hand, including that Ice Still Explorer.
Yeah, so if he runs out that Ice Still Explorer, certainly will be able to get a very large mana advantage. We already see that Fabled Passage on the battlefield. However, I mean, there is a decent army building up on Chris Larsen's side of the battlefield.
Getting a little scary.
Yeah, there's that 3/4 Chocobo, has access to a ton of mana next turn as well.
Yeah, you see the Earthbender Ascension.
Is
it 1 right now? But
I think.
3.
usually doesn't stay that way for very long in these matchups. 3 cards left for Larsen.
Looks like Earthbender Ascension being cast here, 3 mana.
3.
Interesting, tapping the Hushwood Verge instead of the Forest. All right. Animating the Forest, getting another land. And that Forest can, of course, also tap for 2 mana because of the Badger Mole Cub that's on the battlefield.
And Steuer's going to be efficient here and crack his Fabled Passage.
So that would be two counters on the Earthbender Passage. And now with 3 mana available, you can play Keen-Eye Curator and Llanowar Elves.
Land per turn?
Oh, excuse me.
I think you played land per turn.
No, I just tutored with this, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I had
Right,
the
right,
Fabled
yeah.
Passage.
Yeah.
Good, right? I'm not playing land.
Oh.
He's right.
Yep.
Trigger.
4 mana, Ice Still Explorer.
Sure.
And now he has another land
I have
available to
shuffle, I
play.
guess, before I...
That's
Oh,
coming in
that's
from
right.
the graveyard. That's his last
Sure.
land drop to have.
Right, but now Earthbender Ascension will be online.
Am I going to hold priority? Yeah. So, mill trigger on the stack.
Sure.
Thin out the deck with mill trigger on the stack. So now once
And
the
this
forest is
triggers
in play,
twice,
there
so
will
I
be
still
2
on the
mill
stack right
triggers
now.
off the Ice Still Explorer.
I'm going to have these resolve after the mills.
Yeah. You want me to find an F6 paper?
F6 is the shorthand term for I'm not going to do
First
anything.
resolve the 2 mills.
Right, I have
I
passed priority.
yield priority to you for the rest of the turn.
All right,
Then
2
I'll
mills.
resolve the 2 triggers here.
Earthbender Ascension here, 2 triggers. So that's 2 +1/+1 counters.
5, 2 counters. I'll distribute them.
Yeah, Larsen's really only job at this point is just to keep track of what Steuer's doing to make sure that he's playing correctly.
Right.
But unfortunately for Larsen, he is playing against Steuer. is
Yeah, and he has
pretty
been,
dang clean with his
right.
play.
He has been playing extremely clean over the course of this top 8.
Yep.
2 counters on Badger Mole Cub, and also a little bit more.
Yep.
Wow.
Llanowar Elf onto the
What
table as
a
well.
turn for Steuer.
Huge, huge turn. So now next turn with that Ice Still Explorer in play, if you just get the Fabled Passage out of the graveyard twice, that's just 4 +1/+1 counters and
I thought I had
trample
many trample,
wherever you
but-
like.
17.
And what can Chris follow up? Now, Chris does have a fair amount of interaction in hand, so he can actually get rid of the Ice Still Explorer, which is, of course, a source of card advantage here for Nathan Steuer in that erode that he has in hand. He also has a Bushwhack, which if he can get the Saz's Chocobo up to a 4-power creature, can use that to fight the Ice Still Explorer.
By the way, everything you're seeing here on Nathan's turn, it's because of Ice Still Explorer.
Right.
Right? I mean, that's what enabled that explosive turn that we just saw from him, developing his board, landfall triggers, and his mana base.
By the way, was that turn 3?
Maybe turn 4?
Yeah, it might have been turn 4, sure.
It's unbelievable.
It's ridiculous.
Have a mana.
So using all the mana here, he has 1 green mana floating
I will fight the ice still with my chuckable.
with the 1 green mana, as it is now a 4/5.
So Bushwhack will kill the Icefall Explorer.
Right.
Hey, he's got to
Hey,
be thrilled.
that's
You know,
big.
Bushwhack being
Because
able to kill kind of a bigger thing.
right, because right now Nathan Steuer only has now the escape tunnel here. That's a couple of landfall triggers and a keen-eyed curator, which is pretty difficult to actually get to a 7/7 in this matchup. Right now there's a creature and a land and a sorcery in the graveyard. The 4th type is the tough part. Now, of course, if somebody has Icetilt Explorer going, Earthbender Ascension is an enchantment, and then, of course, Diadrine is an artifact.
Yeah, same with World Wagon.
Right.
Questions or?
Oh, wow. Chris Larsen also drew Erode here. Excuse me, Mightform Harmonizer.
Right. He's attacking with Chocobo, it looks like.
Right. Getting in for 4. And it's already taken 2 damage because it's fought the Icetilt Explorer. So Nathan could block with the Badgermole Cup here if he wants to get a trade going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I think Larsen's probably okay with that.
Yeah, I think. But at the same time, I think Nathan's thinking, well, I have plenty of mana. So I don't necessarily need the extra mana anyway. So it's one of those trades where I feel like both players are pretty happy with it. So, and you know, Chris Larsen's the one that actually has a way to get a little bit of card advantage, given that he has that Lumbering World Wagon in play. Right, you can use that to just start attacking, finding extra lands to put on the battlefield, trigger that Earthbender Ascension. Meanwhile, Nathan has just a bossing say here. And but he did draw an Erode off
That's
the top.
big because, I mean, look at Larsen's board.
Right.
He's got the World Wagon. He has the Ascension, and he has the Harmonizer in hand. He has the trio.
Right. And, of course, this is also a very, very nice combination. And we are now keeping... Now, the combination of course, fetch land plus bossing say means you can kind of generate a bunch of landfall triggers basically every single turn.
The question is, what is he doing with them? It's just Ascension throwing a bunch of counters around.
Right.
But no big hammer finish.
Not yet, no.
Okay. Still, that's a lot of forward progress for Steuer as he passes the turn back to Larsen, who decides not to use Erode just yet, and he finds Diadrine off the top.
Wow, and also a Mightform Harmonizer here. Which one is he going to start things off here with?
This is big, too, because Larsen's the one who still has a Cub.
Right.
So he's got that mana,
4 mana
as well.
And here's a Diadrine. You can remember, you can remove the counter on the land with 1 counter on it to basically trigger another landfall, because that would die and come back into play.
Yeah, Diadrine also gets you a card and a 2/2 for your
right.
trouble, so that's a lot of upside.
Yeah, another card that possibly took over that Icetilt Explorer slot, right? Just another thing you can play early, but also works really, really well with animated lands.
And interestingly, both players sitting on Erode.
Right.
And here comes World Wagon.
Trigger, trigger, trigger. So I'll find a land.
Does this get him to Ascension? Not quite. I guess he could.
So the Earthbender Ascension would go to 3, and then you remove the counter, and it would go up to 4.
So it will be on
responding
right
to the
now.
trigger.
Yeah.
That's a trigger on the stack.
Okay, so
Before it returns.
Yeah, we're gonna see
no.
Erode
You
here.
remove the counter from it. There's an Earthbend trigger on the stack.
yeah, sure. So like this.
I'm going to exile the land. I can exile the land with Keen-Eyed Curator because it's a separate trigger. So
Oh, does it actually go to the yard and
Oh,
then come
right.
back?
He can eat
Or
the
is
land
it,
with
or
Keen-Eyed
is it
Curator.
instead? Like, does it? Like, I'm going to
Right.
trust Nathan here.
Where's the
So
draw card?
So it's not in play. It's an exile.
he's saying it goes to the
To the graveyard, and then it triggers.
and then it'll come back.
Right, and then you can exile it in response when it goes into the
The
graveyard.
curator's gonna.
The curator actually doing something here.
This goes here. I'll get a
You get a robot here.
And you
So
get to
there's a
draw a
understack.
card.
That all still
Yes, there it
happens.
was.
He's
Right,
just
but you
missing the
just-
landfall.
You missed the
trigger.
landfall
But this
trigger.
is-
Land, the
like
land
here.
itself, I suppose.
Sorry,
this is-
explain what you're doing.
So this is 5, 10.
No,
That
this
land should be
Yeah, but like.
exiled.
Oh
trigger.
yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
So this
yeah.
Oh,
is 5,
yeah.
10.
Sure.
Right.
I see what you're saying.
Because of the erode.
Right.
Like, can he go
Yeah.
for it?
Did he get and he got a
Can
land
you
from the
explain
erode?
to me?
Did he get a
No,
land?
no, I'm saying
Oh no, he didn't cast a
Five.
road. Of course.
I'm
Yeah.
saying Larsen has erode.
Oh
This is
sure, sure,
harmonized.
sure.
and he
Right.
actually has the ability
Yeah, yeah, but this trigger just.
to do one
Yes,
more
so-
landfall
yes,
here
so
if
I
he
found a
wants.
land. Harmonized trigger on this. So it's
You targeted that, and then this trigger. Sorry, let me rephrase what I'm trying to.
I
ask.
did this to like say this happens, and then I do this. So it's like I said, this, then this.
Okay.
So he lets the
Can I just talk to the judge? Wait,
World
you
Wagon
didn't- you
trigger
didn't do
resolve.
anything. I just would like to tap my mana differently. That's all.
did he
Yeah.
not leave white mana available?
Oh, he did not leave white mana up. Because he has a
Well,
road in hand.
tap your mana is one thing, but
No.
that has 3 counters on it. That means that you're tapping a blocker rather than
Force
not.
plays.
Right.
You're stacking the triggers such that that ability results first, right?
Yeah, so now
Yeah.
it's 9.
But Nathan, when he spent the mana on the Keen-Eyed Curator, wanted to basically tap differently.
I'm saying though he's tapping a blocker.
Sure, sure,
like
sure.
it's
sure.
not just a color. of
Right, right,
mana.
of course, of course.
He's taking a blocker off.
He is
the
taking a
table.
blocker off, but does keep up a road here.
I know. That's why I'm saying like that is a real decision on which one of those you tap. Right? If you tap the
Sure, but
green white,
Nathan hasn't blocked yet.
I'm saying he now doesn't have the
blockers.
option to
Yep.
block with that, or maybe
Sure.
has realized that he doesn't want to.
Right.
That is a much different than
Yeah,
just
Right.
which
but,
color
but-
do I want?
Yeah, but this is all fine.
It's
Well,
one
let-
bigger than.
this-
Let's see what happens with Larsen. He has a
There's
road
5
in
lands
hand
play
here.
Still, I think, as
Oh, there
well.
was
Right.
6, yeah.
There was
Yeah,
6.
yeah.
So,
So
it's
it's-
still.
So it's 6, it's 12.
Sure.
It's
Now 11.
12.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. It's a
Right.
complicated game.
Yeah, but it currently doesn't have trample.
Well, it's hard.
Right, but it can get it.
It
And I got a
can.
robot.
You already have one.
Oh, I had a robot.
Right.
All right.
And it can get
Let's put away
doubled.
from my side.
It can,
Yet
but
again.
then Nathan can use the erode
We
to
gotta
kill
figure it
the
out.
No, no,
Lumbering
you-
World Wagon. If Christopher Larsen
Now
goes
he
for it.
can.
Yeah.
That depends. This is 11 power
Yes.
now because it was double up and it has 5. Yeah.
Yes.
They got it, yeah. All right, and while we're fixing things, can we also fix the counters here? I think we went
It's
from
on-
5 down to 5 again. So
It's
now-
at 6.
Yep. Thank you.
Oh, we're now
A lot of times they just stop counting.
we've shortcutted it to
Yeah.
4 before.
Should be.
So Chris probably content to just say,
Yeah, he's not
Make it
he's
all-
not gonna go for it here, especially after Nathan goes, "Hey, can I untap my land?"
right,
Right. That's kind of giving away the fact that there's a really good chance that he's representing a road here.
erode a really key card in the matchup. And
Yeah,
in
often
fact, it's the last card in hand for both players.
Yeah, and oftentimes removal spells like this usually target non-land creatures, but that's not the case for the erode. Just gets anything.
Nathan perhaps trying to figure out a way if he can force the issue. It's interesting because if he goes for a double block, then he could be looking at taking the World Wagon off the battlefield altogether.
Right.
If he doesn't, and Chris gets a little impatient and goes for an erode on his own creature, then he can blow him out.
Sure, yeah. I think Chris might also be content just
Yeah.
passing priority back because
Yes.
if
In the-
Nathan has an erode, it's just so bad.
It's so bad. He probably won't get greedy and
Right.
just say, sure.
And I think Nathan's also aware of this, so just have to line up what you want to either chump block with. Basically just what you, because the safest thing is just blocking with a Fabled Passage and then sacrificing it. And if Chris somehow goes for the erode play and tries to go for the trample, then of course Nathan has the follow-up in his own erode. But very, very big block here. Lumbering World Wagon crashing in for lots of damage.
Fuck.
Now, of course, you can sacrifice this land, get a landfall trigger
Activate.
from the Earthbender Ascension, pump up the Curator, which would make it big
Search.
enough to actually kill the Lumbering World Wagon.
So he's going to trade.
Yeah. Get
And Chris will probably just accept the terms of this situation.
Yeah, it
right?
feels like keeping up a road so you somehow can't die on the attack back is very important, especially because.
Oh no, he is going for it here.
Okay.
Results.
But Steuer has it
Yeah, Steuer has the erode here
because
as well.
he has his white mana
Right.
available.
Counter on it, doubles the power.
And Nathan's
Okay, yeah,
saying,
of
I
course.
have my own erode. And Larsen says, wow, you
How did
do
you
have
tap
it.
your white mana that when it happens?
Yeah.
Didn't mean to tap it, and I tapped it.
So Chris may be
Obviously.
thinking that maybe Chris thought he got a read on that situation where Nathan was like, actually, I want to untap it. Maybe he thought that was a higher chance that maybe Nathan doesn't even have it in his hand.
I know.
So he went for
Because
it.
why would you do that?
Because that seems
And I
like
know
it would be
why.
a big
Yeah,
mistake.
And I know
Right.
why. It's because
I don't know what to tell you
there
in
was a
this
blocker.
situation.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
This gets a counter at 4.
But that worked out horribly for
Yeah,
Larsen.
Right. Now, Larsen still has a pretty good board here, right? There's a Mindform Harmonizer in play, no more Erode in Nathan's hand, with an Earthbender Ascension on the battlefield. The question is, can
I
Nathan...
just don't know. No chance that you. I don't know. Yeah, well played in a way.
Sorry, obviously I was not trying to get you. You know.
No, it's a weird situation for.
Larsen seems a bit flustered about
Right?
that
Yeah.
mana situation there. Steuer playing it cool.
Remember, Steuer still has the ability to turn that escape tunnel into a land to trigger more landfall. Also, drew Mindform Harmonizer here. That could change the equation here as well.
It sure
Chris
could.
Larsen is completely tapped out here. We're looking at a 4/4 Keen-Eyed Curator here. Doesn't feel like Nathan might have the mana to do everything. Let's see. If you warp in the Mindform Harmonizer, then use the Bossing Say on the escape tunnel. I guess you do have the Llanowar Elf. This is a lot of damage coming in.
This is a huge amount.
Yeah, turn that into a land. Nathan, of course, just running the numbers here. What a top deck.
I don't think Larsen's going to like this for him.
No.
Yep.
He had no cards in hand.
He had nothing, and he's like, really?
This is 2 landfall triggers off of Earthbender Ascension.
And now we're very much into am I dead territory.
2 triggers, so this is 24 here. So you're going to take 22, right? So 6, 12, 24, right?
Damn.
And it has trample.
Right?
That's
Oh my
game.
goodness.
Wow, what a
Sacrifice.
turnaround.
Landfall trigger, trigger there.
You see Larsen sit back in his seat.
Sacrifice.
He thought he had this
Tunnel.
game won.
Yeah,
Holy
he can't-
shit, Nathan.
He can't believe
Search
it.
for the land.
Like, that was just the
So this
actual
triggers
perfect
impact
draw
for
in
the
that
land.
spot.
So this targets this twice. So it's put the counter first.
Larsen is
5.
shocked.
He's in
10.
disbelief.
So it's currently 10 when I search this land. We agree?
Sure, yeah.
And remember,
Yeah, you just go.
if Chris Larsen doesn't fire that erode here, this can't happen.
That's
Right?
right.
He would have had that erode up so that Nathan Steuer couldn't be able to go for the win
And
this turn.
Trigger, put this first.
And it just gets weird
So
because of
11,
that
then it's 22.
land
So
untapping
it's
thing, because
20,
Larsen
21
really
total.
kind of believed that Nathan would never tap that white mana if he actually
Right,
had a road.
which is why he went
And then
for
Nathan
it.
said, actually, can I change what I did? He was allowed to do so, but Larsen went with his read of saying,
Should be
if
more,
you had
though.
it, you wouldn't
Right.
make the
It
mistake
can't
of
be,
tapping
this-
your
Oh,
white
because
have
of
to-
the
So
way
I
it
think
Yeah, the way
Nathan
this works.
legitimately made an honest mistake, but then Chris read that for, no, there's no way you have it. You just want to keep up white mana, so I'm going to go for it. But then Nathan actually had it.
And then Nathan top decked literally the,
The perfect
card,
card.
and killed him the
Oh
next
my
turn.
gosh.
I mean, he went from looking at a board state of Steuer having no white mana available with the win in his hand,
Right.
to, okay, you've got your white mana, that happens sometimes, to a reverse blowout and then
Yeah.
a loss.
Monster
Wow.
top deck.
Yeah.
Monster
Yeah.
top deck.
Agreed.
from
Yeah.
Steuer.
Now, Chris Larsen,
All right, that was a weird game.
yeah. Now, Chris
In that
Larsen
sense of play.
has taken some tough losses, specifically in the finals of the Pro Tour, right? Just the last one that he won,
That really
he
did
had
get
the
me
win
in a
in
way.
game number 4.
I hope you know
He
I was
had it
not
set
trying
up.
to get you at all.
I believe you. That's not the thing. It's just, yeah, I don't know.
You know, Paul, I don't think it's sitting well with
Also, I'm pretty sure if I
Yeah.
said you would, yeah, I don't know.
It's rough, but
I just don't think it's sitting well with him how
Yeah.
that played out.
sure.
I think it's just an unfortunate sequence.
Right,
you
right,
know,
right.
how-
And
like you
again,
said.
that is because
But you can
Needs to wake up
tell
a bit after that.
he's just having a hard time
Yeah,
kind of getting
absolutely,
his bearings back.
absolutely. But I do
Definitely
want
made me
to
think
want
we
to
didn't
iterate
have it by doing that and then saying I had to untap by hardly margin.
What do you?
7.
Yeah, to untap.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah,
Oh, that I had to untap the land.
yeah.
Yeah. I see what you mean. I mean, from my perspective, I was just confused about the triggers as they were resolving on
I
the
understand
stack.
that as well. Yeah.
I would just say it would be helpful to, try to take the triggers a little slower.
I understand.
suggested that,
I don't think. I feel like, yeah.
Chris was
I don't
very
think we were
clear on the
tracking
triggers.
triggers too big, too fast either.
When
Well, I think the
when I
part-
say slow, excuse me.
More
speaking-
verbal.
Beg pardon?
More verbal.
What I mean to say is let's just agree on the math as we go.
Yeah,
That
sure.
way it's a lot less confusing for you guys. It's a lot less confusing for
For
us.
everyone else.
That's a fair request. I don't think it's really relevant. You know, these were two different
Please and
things.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did want to say full disclosure, like what
Okay.
Nathan did was completely legal, and the judges are sitting there to allow that to
But I
happen.
messed up too by putting one less counter on the Ice Till Explorer. I just thought you were going to erode it and forgot about Bushwhack,
Yeah.
which is why I put the 2 counters on the Badgermal Cub.
All right, well, we still have a lot more Magic
the
to play.
Chocobo.
That is
Get it.
just one game. Like I mentioned before, Chris Larsen has taken some tough losses before, specifically
that
in
was
Game 4
unbelievable
against Tony
final.
Portolan.
Yeah.
And he still managed to come back and win the whole thing, right? And this is just a single game. This is nearly a 75 card mirror. Chris Larsen is going to be in the play on game number 2.
7.
Yes, we saw him in his finals against Tony Portolan really have to fully reset mentally. That is a skill that a professional Magic player needs, and he's going to have to do it again here as he's
Oh, yeah,
lost
sorry.
game 1 to Nathan Steuer, and he's left kind of shaking his head about it. You can tell he really needs to try to dial it back in. This is a best 3 out of 5. This is why we play that. You take one loss, this is far from over. Our first 2 games here are pre-sideboarded. And we are off and running here in game number 2. Chris Larsen and Nathan Steuer both on 7 cards. Chocobo on the other side with a Llanowar Elves for Larsen. Does he have the Dream Opener?
No Badger Mole Cub
Okay, then no.
or Earthbender Ascension. You want either of those cards. In fact, he's got probably the cards that aren't as good in the matchup in cards like Sirach and Keen-Eyed Curator. Still a fine curve out, but not exactly what the deck's trying to do in this head-to-head. Interesting turn here for Chris Larsen.
Good 19.
So this looks like an attack for 1 with the Llanowar Elves.
Okay,
And then Saz's Chocobo
and then the escape tunnel.
An escape tunnel. Not bad.
Yep.
Again, not that explosion level draw that we see sometimes from this deck, but pretty good.
Yeah. And
What about
here,
for Steuer?
Nathan does have the Bushwhack here. So can go Saz's Chocobo, land Bushwhack, kill Llanowar Elf, just to try to slow down Chris Larsen.
Looks like he has a second Saz's Chocobo as well.
Yep, there's a Temple Garden, so you can play
17.
those untapped. You get the 2 landfall triggers, clean up the board.
So he's going to Bushwhack, kill Llanowar Elves, pass the turn back over. On end step here, though, Larsen is going to sacrifice his escape tunnel.
Got
That's an
Swords to
additional
Plowshares.
counter.
Attune the Beater Split card. It's a good
Yeah,
one,
that
right?
Bushwhack has been pretty impressive in this
It has
deck.
been. The timing on it matters, like the earlier the better.
Yeah, right,
And
definitely.
we see that here from Steuer.
Just to have an
Forward, yeah.
additional cheap way to deal with some of the mana creatures. Chris would love to draw an Earthbender Ascension off the top here. Get some ramp going. Otherwise, can still just go land Sirach.
Gene.
So he's going to attack for
Yeah,
3
right.
and then play the Sirach.
And actually, Nathan doesn't have a play here on turn number 3, right? There's
Really?
a pair of Mightform Harmonizers and some lands. So the best he's got here is just to, maybe just play out an escape tunnel, get 2 landfall triggers. That way you can actually block the Sirach, right? You can turn the Chocobos both into 3/4s here. But on the flip side, I think Nathan is considering, do I just maybe take a bunch of damage? Is there a world where maybe I can win by, holding on to that escape tunnel and waiting until the Mindform Harmonizer is in play to get double landfall triggers to maybe sneak in a victory.
You know, when you have a slower hand like this for Steuer, he does not need to start thinking about the few turns down the road.
Right.
He's behind.
Yeah.
How is Surrock in the matchup?
Not particularly strong. It just gets, you know, the chocobos can grow. You're not really doing a ton of damage. I think it's meant for the decks that have lots of removal. You know, decks like Is It Lessons or, you know, any Is It deck for that matter. It's just, you know, the fact that it can draw you the card and can't be countered does a lot of work. In this type of matchup, I don't think it's very strong.
It ends up being one of the smaller creatures.
Right. It's just a 4/3, and it doesn't end up mattering all that often, especially when both sides get, you know, the draws, their typical draws.
The one thing we have noticed about it that has been a benefit is it does come with trample,
Right.
where getting trample with a harmonizer can be a problem, but maybe we won't be seeing as many of those
Right.
after this game. I'll remind you, this is game number 2, and we're going best 3 out of 5 every game.
Oh, Mindform Harmonizer.
Oh, speaking of harmonizer.
Okay, so check. So now with Mindform Harmonizer, he's actually warping this in. This already doubled something, right? He already played a land, and with Erode,
Yes.
he can actually turn that attacking creature into a lethal attacker, potentially.
And he did target Surrock,
Right.
by the way, with that trample.
And Nathan posturing here, right? Kind of putting his hands in front of his
Oh,
mana
yeah.
here. You gotta at least try to represent Erode.
Fight it.
That's a weird mind.
You have me at 14, right?
Yep.
And
No
Nathan
blocks.
doesn't have anything, so if
This
Christopher
is 12.
doesn't go for it this time, but had he gone for the Erode,
Or 12.
would he have
Sorry,
been able
got
to?
it
I
changed.
guess you would have to erode like the Mindform
The
Harmonizer.
problem is you have to
Yeah.
actually kill one of your own attackers.
Right.
Like the harmonizer would be gone, right, by the time
Yeah,
the land
and
hit.
this still puts Nathan down to 2.
Exactly.
Right. And Chris does not want to make that same mistake that he made in the previous turn, where he kind of tried to go for the win on the turn, and then Nathan, of course, had the very timely erode.
Okay, here's a harmonizer, but this is going to clear the way here for Larsen.
Right, but Larsen does not have an extra land drop to make here.
Ah.
Right? He's got
I
the 4
see.
lands to cast the harmonizer.
A land would be...
A fabled passage
Oh, yeah.
would be ridiculous.
What did he find?
Badger Mole Cub.
Oh, that's not it.
Yeah.
So he can go Curator Cub or Curator leave up Erode or Harmonizer.
Right.
Wow, he's attacking with both.
Just attacking here. He does have access to the Erode.
Oh,
remember,
that's why the Curator's
Remember,
down
the
first.
Surrock has Trample, so Nathan, to play around Erode, probably needs to double block
And
on the Surrock.
and block the Chocobo.
And block the Chocobo, because the Chocobo, of course, doesn't have Trample. But
So
you want
the
to put your
Erode-
biggest stuff. So I think what you want to do is put 2 Chocobo on the Surrock and perhaps the Ice-Tail Explorer on the Chocobo.
If he single blocks the Surrock, it's over.
That's right. So yeah, and Nathan sniffs it out here.
I'll tell you when it's final.
Yeah, it's fine.
Very,
Oh.
very heads-up play here.
This is not a great spot, though, for Steuer, right?
Right.
He's figured out how to not die.
Well, I mean, the Chocobo is going to eat the
Go ahead.
Surrock if you block this
Yep.
way. Right, they're both 4/5s, and then if you sacrifice a land, they're both 5/6s.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's not like the it's not like Surrock
Walk
grows.
like this.
So he gets him to chump block with the Harmonizer. That's
Right.
He
So that's
basically is
big.
trading
Right.
Surrock for Harmonizer, which...
Or Ice-Tail Explorer.
sorry,
Right.
not Harmonizer. I'll still Explorer. But
Yep.
that is what Larsen
Yeah,
wanted, I
that's
suppose.
basically what he wanted out of that exchange. Yeah.
But now we're kind of back down to no more Trampler.
No more Trampler, and Nathan has 2 giant creatures in play with a Mindform Harmonizer and in Erode. Although that is an escape tunnel, I believe.
Yes.
So that doesn't allow Nathan Steuer to actually cast Erode if he plays out a Mindform Harmonizer this turn.
Funny. And let's keep an eye on the Curator here, as that thing can start eating away at the graveyard.
Right?
And it
Take
can
some
become
lands.
a Trampler very easily.
Sure, we have a creature and a land currently and a sorcery.
Exactly.
Needs to find the 4th creature type to put into the graveyard, enchantment or artifact.
And he has an instant in hand,
That's
by the way,
right.
so he could
Yeah.
stock his own graveyard.
That's right.
If
You are
that makes sense.
absolutely correct.
Well, there's your land and your
Sorcery.
Yes.
Yes, sorcery. Because you have your own creature, or there's
Yeah.
another creature,
Sure.
and with
Whatever
the
you want.
erode, you put an enchantment, an instant in your graveyard. That would turn the Keen-Eye Curator into a 7/7
He
Trampler.
needs a land, though, right? The second land is needed because of all the toughness.
Instance.
Well, so he's got the erode as well, though, right?
Right, but that's
so you
only
attack with
one
both.
landfall.
Well, no, because even if you double block,
I guess the road is just lethal.
right?
Oh, shoot.
Oh, because he's down to 2.
Right, he's down to 2, so the Chocobo has to get blocked. Oh, you can also attack with, I guess, Badgermole Cub too, with the 1/1, although I don't think that necessarily changes the math. Oh, it might, because the Sausage Chocobos are 4/5s. If you sacrifice a land, they become 5/6s. So the 7/7 tramples over for 1 point of damage, and then the 1 damage from the token might matter. However, then you don't have enough mana to exile enough cards and also cast Erode and exile a card out of the graveyard.
Cute.
Okay, he's going to play Badgermole Cub first, and that actually
It's the same
would
amount of
give
mana.
him-
Right.
But now if he destroys the forest, he can tap it for mana
Right.
and destroy it and get 2 landfall triggers.
So he needs to, yeah, so he's going to Erode there.
Yeah, just kill your blocker. Tap this.
So this dies.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you still use escape tunnel there for
Right,
Steuer.
and by the way, that
Land.
still gives you another landfall trigger here. You get 2 landfall triggers, right? You get one from the erode and one from the escape tunnel.
Right.
So the 4/5 becomes a 6/7. So that's not quite enough. It means that even if the Keen-Eye Curator becomes a 7/7 Trampler, it wouldn't kill Nathan.
It would leave him at
These 2 triggers are
1.
on the stack.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a 7/7 attacking into a
5,
6/7.
6.
So he would take no damage.
And
Okay,
But
take
he would
no
but
damage,
he would
but
have no board.
Okay.
Absolutely no board.
goes.
Oh, that's right. Mindform Harmonizer's in place, so he can
Yep.
double the power. He can actually just trade with both of those creatures. Because he has a Mindform Harmonizer in play.
So we'll
right?
have an empty.
Take
No,
the
we'll have a
unwanted
Badgermole Cub
a 1/1
and a
token
1/1
and a Warped Harmonizer.
against an opponent on
Bad.
2 with no board.
That's right. But Nathan
This is
Steuer.
still kind of close.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Nathan Steuer still has Mindform Harmonizer in hand and an erode. Right? So he can still play a blocker and remove an attacker if Chris Larsen maybe tries to go for it next turn.
Oh no, you don't. I don't take any.
No, no.
Yeah, so Nathan thought he was dead, but he actually isn't.
Yeah, the math is too hard.
You know it's hard when Nathan Steuer says the math is too hard.
Can't find.
Yeah, so Chris also knows what's going to happen here. All those creatures
Yeah.
that rumbled in are going to die. A 2/2 and a 1/1 on Chris Larsen's side. Nothing on Nathan Steuer. However, Nathan has a bunch
Yeah,
of lands in
fucked up
play.
on that.
Has a Harmonizer. Has Bossing Stay available as well. Again, a tap land, a Fabled Passage would be a really nice draw.
There's Saus's Chocobo.
Hey,
for
that's an extra blocker. Hey, this puts 2 blockers in play with an erode.
So Larsen has Harmonizer
Warped.
So he has some action.
Right, he can just cast it next turn if he wants, right? Along with the
And the
Chocobo that he
Chocobo?
has in his hand. So it's going to be very close here.
Yep.
Oh, not going for the Harmonizer. Okay. But you still have access to the erode here. All right, so there is a land here from Christoffer Larsen. Chocobo. Probably hard cast the Harmonizer here into a land.
He's going to play
Yeah.
the land first.
Wait. He should have tapped the... I think that was a slightly missed... Yeah. You want to play the land after.
Yeah.
get the landfall
Because
trigger.
you can't cast it.
But I don't think he would have had a good attack anyways.
No.
Because you don't want to attack Badgermole Cub into the 2/2 land.
So he's just going to have to pass back anyway.
All right,
no
4
harm,
creatures.
No foul there.
Right. But Nathan, continuing to draw action here, has an Earthbender Ascension to put another blocker in play while keeping up that erode. All right, going for the Harmonizer here instead.
Steuer really fighting, scrapping it out, facing 2 huge attacks this game and able to stabilize at 2. Is that another erode?
That is an erode here from Christoffer Larsen.
Is that enough?
No, he's going to be 1 damage short, because if he erodes the Mindform Harmonizer, attacks with everything, Nathan Steuer will erode the Mindform Harmonizer, or one of the other creatures, and then block the 2/2 and the 1/1, and then he'll just take the 1 damage. Also, I think he thinks that there's a really good chance Nathan is holding an erode right now, too.
Especially after that first game.
That's right. Yeah, and this is where having access to a couple more lands and that Bossing Say is going to really matter here, right? If Chris Larsen doesn't have a Trampler available, I mean, every single turn, Nathan can pump out another blocker with that Bossing Say.
So often, it comes down to trample. Yes, and Larsen's just passed the turn back.
Yeah.
Steuer with Erode and Earthbender Ascension, and he's found a Badger Mole
So
Cub.
that's 2 more blockers.
Well, his engine is online, no doubt about that.
How is Christoffer Larsen going to find a way to sneak the last 2 points of damage? As long as Nathan Steuer keeps up the erode, he can't even, draw an escape tunnel off the top to try to go for lethal here. At least until he fights through that erode in Nathan Steuer's hand.
Yeah, it would be a good draw. He could force him to kill,
right?
A Chocobo or something like that, rather than the Harmonizer. But still, Larsen's going to be getting a little jealous here.
The things are starting to slip away here. Now, Larsen does have the massive edge when it comes to life total, but Nathan is the one who has all the resources. Chris Larsen's best bet here is just kind of hoping Nathan maybe gets a little bit too aggressive in one of the turns, fires off that erode, and gets in for the last few points of damage.
And there's a forest off the top here for Larsen. No help.
Yeah, not going to be enough. Not on this board. No trampling available.
Can he force an unfavorable trade? I mean, is that where we're at here?
I mean, you can play the land and pump up the Chocobo and then double the power. It'll turn it into a 4/3, but Nathan's also just happy, perhaps just blocking with the land and getting extra landfall triggers and getting that back into play, right?
Yeah.
It seems like the best creature available to block with.
Yep.
As it is a 4/3. Perhaps going to line up a double block here, maybe try to force an erode. Or try to find a way to just get that Chocobo off the battlefield here.
Yeah, it feels like Larsen doesn't want to go for the 2-for-1 version.
Right.
But maybe.
This is a 4/3. I think Larsen will be okay just getting both of these lands off the battlefield. Yeah.
Yeah, so the Cub and the Plains.
But the Plains will, of course, come back.
Yep.
And another landfall trigger will occur.
So Chocobo a little bigger, halfway there on the Earthbender Ascension for Steuer,
right?
Who has done an amazing job of staying alive and keeping himself in this game. Now it feels like it's his game to lose.
Right. Now remember, Chris Larsen does have that erode in hand, so we are getting kind of close to the point where, now with the Earthbender Ascension on 2 and a Mindform Harmonizer in play, right? At some point, Nathan can probably find the option here to start attacking on his own, and especially if you can find a fetch land, get in for a ton of damage and kind of force Chris Larsen to fire off that erode.
Larsen very much at the mercy of the top of his library, and at this rate, he's going to need to find multiple good draws in a row to fight through the erode of Steuer and then also find some way to give trample.
Yeah, Nathan is certainly just going to attack animate with Bossing Say. No real other lines available here. Using that to turn the land into a 2/2. You just kind of get infinite jump blockers. If you don't have tramplers, he is happy just putting those creatures in front of any attacker and build up that Earthbender Ascension.
Yeah, I keep thinking about Earthbender Ascension for Larsen, but that's really only one piece of the puzzle.
Right.
He's so far from getting it active.
Right, he's very, very far
I mean,
away.
is Surrock the draw that he wants?
Possibly,
it
because then
dies,
at least
but he
draws
gets
you
a
card.
card back
Yeah.
off of it.
Trigger here.
Yep.
Remember, Mindform Harmonizer is in play here. Oh, look at that.
So it's a 4/4.
8/4.
An 8/4 Mightform Harmonizer just attacked.
Basically, hey, do you want to trade? I am okay with the trade. Okay, erodes the creature. So now Chris Larsen might erode the Harmonizer in response. Because now once you get the creature, you can make a 5/5 Mindform Harmonizer, which would be bigger than Chris Larsen's Mindform Harmonizer.
Okay, so Steuer
nine,
erodes
5,
his own land, which is going to get the Earthbender Ascension online, which means 5 toughness.
Right?
Oh, the land comes down, yeah.
Yeah.
So make sure we sequence everything well here.
And trample.
And trample.
And Larsen is doing his best job of not selling the fact that he's got erode until the
Right.
last minute, but he does. Of
He
course,
has to.
Steuer will have been aware of that possibility.
Absolutely.
This good, yes.
Okay.
And then his Harmonizer is going to die, and he's going to get a land.
Get another land, which will then get you another Saz's Chocobo trigger and another Earthbender Ascension trigger.
Yeah, Ascension's
It's at 5 now.
So it goes
powered
5,
up.
Yeah, and then you have this one.
This will
Yep.
be-
All right. Well, now, I mean, Nathan's down to 2 creatures.
I
that.
didn't have to risk it.
I was
Yeah,
going to
look
say,
at
Steuer
this.
took a
And
big risk to go for
fired
the
off the
win.
erode. If Chris Larsen just plays a land here, isn't that lethal?
It is,
What the-
and he's got
Oh
it.
my
And
goodness.
wow, what a weird game!
Wow.
Larsen somehow
I need
comes
sugar.
away with the victory in game 2.
And, I mean, in both games, the first person
must
to
have drawn erode
flinch
past turn,
and
right?
fire
The turn
off their
before that.
erode
I've
first
had it-
was
yeah,
the
but then
person
you
who
had mana
lost the
up, You
game.
could have killed it.
After both of them holding it in their
I'm
hand
fairly
for
certain
7
that
rounds in a
I
row.
would attack into your road. I don't get there. But I don't think I played this game very well. I also thought I had lethal the turn I attacked with Keenan, and as I attacked with Keenan, I realized, oh, it triggers down.
You had second erode for how long?
Couple of turns,
The whole
I think.
game.
Yeah, he had that for a while. Yeah, so
I'm trying to
Nate,
think about it, because
because
I guess you just didn't want to go for lethal that turn. You just thought I had erode.
Yeah. Did you have a road?
Yeah, I did have erode.
Wow. I mean, really well played there at the end by Chris Larsen, not running into the same trap that he did
Was
in
there?
game number 1.
I'm sorry.
You know, it's interesting because you actually mentioned that as a potential line of play,
Oh, that's
saying
fair.
maybe Steuer will get a little bit impatient with his erode. But that felt like desperation, right? That felt like Chris, you're searching for Chris's outs when you say that, Paul. It actually happened. I'm shocked. I did not think that Steuer would go for it there.
Yeah, I mean, just on board state alone, Nathan had the mana advantage. Every single turn, he gets to make another 2/2 blocker. There's no threat of any tramplers. Just continue building out your board, make a bunch of tokens, keep up that hold on to that erode for dear life. Because if you use it offensively and your opponent also has one, I mean, both times. The player who cast it first lost the game, and yeah, that's going to be a rough one for Nathan.
Don't be the first one to flinch, I guess is the name of the game. 2 unorthodox endings to games 1 and 2, but in the end, they split them, and we're going to play at best 2 out of 3 when we come back right after this break. And welcome back to coverage here of Pro Tour Secrets of Strixhaven. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe. I'm with Paul Cheon. And if you're just joining us, good timing. We're in the finals.
Randos.
And we've got Nathan Steuer versus Chris Larsen having split the first 2 games, and now they're sideboarding and sideboarding face up here, Paul.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one before.
This is highly unorthodox, but it's also pretty rare to see 2 teammates playing together in the finals of the Pro Tour. So this must have been an agreement made by the team. Hey, if we ever play against each other, perhaps at any point in the event, because I think you told me that they did this previously as well, right?
They did it. They played round 15, and they did this then.
Right,
too.
so I think this is a team heavy play Cosmos thing where it's just, hey, if we ever play against each other, we don't want any surprises. We're playing the same deck, face up sideboarding, may the best gamer win.
Yeah.
Interesting
Are you cutting
stuff.
this or no?
But yeah, this is like the. I was just putting out the one art for you.
Oh, I see. Now
This
you're deciding on your snakeskin veil
This is the
count.
7 that was on the.
They're even discussing their sideboarding
list.
strategies.
Yeah.
And then there's whether or not how many snakes
I wonder
you
if
want.
they've just fallen into a playtesting rhythm.
Right. I mean, they,
You know what
they
I mean?
probably spent a lot of time together testing, right? I mean, I don't know how much time Chris Larsen has to, of course, not necessarily test in person, but of course you can play plenty of your
really
matches
can't remember
online
the
as
card
well.
we thought about last time.
But I imagine the sideboard plan here
What
is
does your
going to be
card say?
very,
You
very
made your
similar
own guide,
between
so-
both players, right?
don't have a guide.
Mossborn Hydra is a card that's quite strong. Snakeskin Veil is a way to
Javier
protect
out
the
there.
Mossborn Hydra,
No?
especially because
No,
after
there's no
sideboard,
space.
I think it's the most important card in the matchup.
Well, I guess we'll both be beating ourselves up for 2 different games. Call it a wash.
It would be interesting and pretty funny if somehow they both sideboarded very differently, even
I
though
really
it's face
thought
up.
that you would have cast the Erode already. I guess you basically just needed to hold it. But I thought you would have gone for lethal.
Yeah.
'Cause I didn't think you'd have too many other windows to kill me, and that was like one of the spots where I have 1 card in hand and I'm just dead to it.
You check out the Key9?
Yeah, I got him.
So, I mean, that's definitely one of those Chris Larsen
You just had a
felt
read
like,
that I had a
felt
road.
like he had a read.
I assume
Yeah,
so.
exactly. There you go.
I mean, after game 1, I just assume you have a rope always.
Yeah,
That was-
that's
that
what I
was,
was
uh,
saying.
That's totally fair, too.
I would have thought you had a
was
road,
saying.
except I would have thought that you would try to kill me because your window was so small in that game because I can bossing say and stuff.
But did I have a window?
Yeah, it was lethal.
He had one
yeah,
window.
Like if you don't have a rope.
Right.
That's
If I
right.
don't have a road, you kill me by casting road.
Yeah, but like multiple turns ago, like I don't think there was a window.
There was
where-
2 turns. You had 4 attackers. I had 3 blockers.
But one of them was 1/1. And then I needed a land to pump it as well. No?
You attack with all 4, whatever's unblocked,
And
you
you road
road
my
your
own
own
creature?
creature, and then you kill me.
Yeah, but then I died to a road, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was making the assumption that you would have killed me with your road because your window to win the game would have been small otherwise.
You guys want to write it down after we showed it open?
Yeah.
No, we
I'm
don't
gonna
need it
need
written
some
down.
Kind of something with sugar in it. Otherwise.
Sorry?
Can I go buy something with sugar in it, or can I send some?
Can we send? Can we?
A Coke.
Like a juice or a Coke? or
Coke.
what?
We'll work on it.
Yeah, that's fine.
What do you want? Just a Coke, juice?
Coca-Cola.
He was saying at the end of the game that he felt like he needed some sugar.
Did you
Yeah,
think
I mean,
about
that-
it that turn or
that
not
was an
really?
intense
Oh, yeah, I
2
thought about
games.
it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
maybe he's feeling
That
a
I
little
could,
of that blood
do
sugar
that.
thing
Yeah.
that you can get in
But-
this
Interesting.
extremely intense situation.
That was just like, in my head at least.
Yeah, I mean, and Nathan basically just
Guess you
thinks
don't have, like,
he
that
would have
many-
definitely
you have
gone
the
for it
escape
there.
tunnel
Why
that
didn't he
killed
go
me,
for
which
it?
is
So
one
I
of the reasons
assumed he
that I
didn't
went. I was
have it.
thinking about
And then, of
maybe
course, he
getting
had it.
escape tunnel,
Chris
like,
Larsen ran into a similar
had
situation in
to
game number 1 with the tapping.
set up a large
He also
board
came
or-
to that conclusion, and in
Kinda
both
need more
instances,
refined
the other
sugar
player
at
had
this
the
point.
erode.
Okay. I can pay for it myself. That's not the issue.
They closed down the cafe, right?
Oh, they closed down the
Early, so yeah. So here's just grab something to shop around. There's actually some grandma's chocolate chip cookies in the boxes in the basket.
celiac.
Oh, we can get him a cookie.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
You can take a look at our crew here, by
Fruit
the
sugar,
way.
not refined.
You can see Frank and Mason down
Next
there
toast.
on the iPads.
Right.
We've also got a fantastic crew backing us up here
These have been weird
in the
games, yeah.
booth.
Yeah, and as expected, taking a look at how Chris
You really got
Larsen
me. I thought you were
sideboarded here.
gonna go-
You too.
Yeah.
Went up to the
Thought
full
you were
4
gonna go and
copies
kill
of
me
Mossborn
if you had it
Hydra,
that turn.
along with
Last
4
turn I knew
copies
you
of
the
Sheltered
land,
by
so I just
Ghosts.
figured like couldn't have it.
I feel like Nathan now second guessing things here.
All right, good luck, buddy. I'll go first.
Entertaining TV in weird ways.
It is that.
You guys okay? Yes. Perfect. Yeah. Good luck. Perfect 7.
The perfect
Impressive
7
stuff.
for Chris
Perfect
Larsen. He's
7.
got his drink, and
Ooh, not an imperfect
is that a one-lander?
set here for Nathan.
Yeah, Steuer's going to have to send that one
Yeah.
back. How would you say this archetype mulligans?
It mulligans reasonably well. I mean, especially if you can, you know, I think it's just more important to make sure that you have that good opener. And so I think you do need to mulligan pretty aggressively to find those. Now, there is a lot of redundancy built in. If you have a Saz's Chocobo with lands, Llanowar Elves, Badgermole Cub, basically you need to have a hand with one of those cards in your opener. And if you don't, then of course you have to send it back.
Give me a second.
So mulligan here for
You thinking?
Steuer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Nathan Steuer here sideboarding in a very similar way, bringing in all copies of Mossborn Hydra and Sheltered by Ghosts in his sideboard, along with a couple of copies of Snakeskin Veil to protect those creatures.
Let's see if Steuer has a keeper here.
And I think we were mentioning before, both players boarding out the Sirachs that used to be in their main decks.
This is a land-heavy hand.
Yeah, it's got an Erode and a
This is
Llanowar
a
Elf.
lot of mana. Yeah, Erode, Elves, and all
I
lands.
think you might need to keep this one, and then you just kind of hope to
Ugh.
get stuff off the top of your deck, because you do have the turn 1 Llanowar Elf. Turn 2, if you draw any action spell,
Wow.
Earthbender Ascension, Badgermole Cub, maybe even a Diadrin, maybe something along those lines. It's kind of tough,
too.
though.
He's going to send this back.
Okay.
Just like 2 lands off the top.
I mean, it's
You are in
basically
big
trouble.
if you keep 4
My
lands,
hand was,
Llanowar Elves, and an Erode. It's like 5
4
lands
lands.
and an Erode. That's it.
Snakeskin Veil, Chocobo, Hydra.
Are they both
Oh, Chris
mulliganing?
Larsen's mulliganing. Okay.
I don't know either.
So they're both going to 5 here?
This question I would ask you.
I mean, if you knew I mulled to 5, I would keep that hand.
Yeah,
obviously.
I was actually thinking that would I even keep this hand if you multi 5, but probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But my hand is just like,
It's pretty weird. It doesn't really do very much, and it's kind of all in on the Hydra, but yeah.
yeah.
Did you keep 4 lands, Elf, Erode on 6?
No. Those would be some really, really good lands.
None of those.
Like
None of
Ancestral
those
Recall
ones.
lands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, fair fight here, I guess.
right.
Both players going to 5.
We have divination lands in our deck.
Yeah. No way.
I would love a divination land. Oh, man.
Yeah, you got Paul's interest with that one.
Tell me more.
Is that the next set, or?
Yeah. Might have to play the PT for that one.
The perfect 5?
I don't believe him anymore.
Yeah, he was incorrect.
Okay, see an Erode and a pair of lands. Yeah, this is definitely a keep
And
here
there's a
for Nathan
Cub,
Steuer. 2 lands. It's just a matter of figuring out what to send back here with this hand.
What about for Larsen? Does he have something he can keep?
I see.
Is that a one-lander?
It might be.
But it's a good one-lander.
I think is Larsen on a mulligan to 6?
Well, I assume
Feels
he's
that
going to
way.
5 as well.
Oh,
Right? They
okay.
both do it at the same time. We'll see. We'll see in a minute.
Yeah. And Nathan's hand is just amazing to the point where it's really tough figuring out what to bottom.
Right.
You've got interaction, you've got ramp, you got the 2 lands. But you are on the play, so maybe you don't need the interaction, right? If you're on the play, maybe you want to be as proactive as possible and keep all the action cards in your hand.
Yeah.
Good luck, buddy.
You also have to factor in.
18.
Yeah, so it says 5 and 6, but I know Steuer's
it's
on
flipped.
5. Yeah, so
It's
6 for Larsen?
Yeah, 6
Okay.
for Larsen, 5 for Steuer.
Okay, here we go.
All right, turn 1 Llanowar Elf.
And this is going to be a Chocobo for Larsen. This was a one-lander, but it has a Bushwhack.
Yeah, so the question is, do you just run out the Bushwhack here instead? Because if you
Oh.
play the Bushwhack for a land, next turn you can play Badger Mole Cub. Yeah, that's what he's going with.
Boy, a land there would have been nice for Larsen.
Right, because if you play
Bushwhack
the,
to kill Lanarel,
Right.
so much better.
yeah, but if you just play out the Chocobo turn 1, you just can't play the Cub turn 2, right? Unless you just top deck a land.
Exactly.
Wow.
Too risky. So
Perfect.
the perfect start here for Steuer.
know,
Lanarel into Badger Mole Cub.
Get all this mana, and he's got the Ice Tail Explorer to effectively unmulligan here, and the Mossborn Hydra in hand.
But Larsen's hand is good too.
He's got a Chocobo into an escape tunnel possibly here.
Cards too.
Yeah.
That turns your Chocobo into a 2/3, so none of the creatures on Nathan's side can actually attack this turn. Or you keep up Erode instead. Sure.
Better be sure about using it here.
Yeah, well, this is the big turn, right? Nathan has access to 4 mana here. Didn't even sacrifice the escape tunnel. Doesn't need to with that Ice Tail Explorer and Mossborn Hydra. So now if you're Nathan Steuer, Chris Larsen is representing Erode. Which one of these creatures do you want to expose to the Erode?
It's, you know,
If you say so.
Ice Tail Explorer gets you a lot more cards, but then of course Mossborn Hydra can close out the game very, very quickly.
It's certainly tempting to pounce here if you're Steuer, but I think the question is, if we fast forward 2 turns, which one of those cards would you rather have in play?
That's still a great question.
And it is an interesting question. My gut says Ice Tail is what you'd want down the line. It gives you so much more flexibility and advantage off of future top decks. But
it's still
you
just
may be able to just close this thing out, and he's going to go for
Hydra.
the Hydra, which signifies that he probably wants the Ice Tail for later.
Right. And has a land and has that Ice Tail, that escape tunnel. So that thing's going to be gigantic. So Chris Larsen needs to get that off the off of the snakeskin veil there.
He's messing around with him.
But that does ramp Nathan Steuer here. Access to a ton of mana. Now, Chris Larsen does have the answer to the Ice Tail Explorer with a Shelter by Ghost in hand. So if Nathan runs out that Explorer, remember he mulliganed down to 5. He's going to get a couple of triggers, but then Chris Larsen will have the answer.
And we see a block and sack there from
Nice.
Steuer. He wanted to do that anyway, so may as well soak up a couple of damage on the way. Badger Mole Cub for Christoffer Larsen, and he's got the escape tunnel with that as well. So good combos from both players. This is going to be an interesting game, and remember, Nathan's on 5. I mean, this is a really great draw on 5.
Yeah, he's going to be able to get that Ice Tail Explorer. Perhaps he can mill a Bossing Say, get that into play, right? If you do that, at least you can get a bunch of mana on the battlefield. And even if this one dies, you can still use the Bossing Say to get some 2/2s into play.
Oh, if only there was a way to shortcut this.
no,
Can't do it on paper.
painful, I know.
Yeah. There's a mill trigger coming.
But,
Played.
well, I have to mill a card first.
Oh, you already have to mill. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah, that's why. Awkward, right?
Trying to shortcut,
Then
but
I
it
have
actually
to play my
ended up
first
taking
hand, draw.
longer.
Mill a card.
Respond to the mill, crack this.
Yep. Yep. So land coming in, 2 mill triggers on the stack here for Ice Tail Explorer.
I would probably just mill the card there, but I get it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, because I
you
don't
have
think
to mill
either
what,
list
two now?
are
2 cards
playing
and I
with.
have a land drop still.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have Esper Origins in their deck to kind of mill, but still getting the forest out of your deck so you have a higher chance
And
of milling
this one
cards like
resolves.
Bossing Say is relevant.
Good.
Okay, so lots of lands, but nothing else from Nathan. Chris Larsen does have the Shelter by Ghost here to get the Ice Tail Explorer off the battlefield.
Yeah, you know, Steuer started on 5. He's done a really great job of developing his mana on a start from 5, but it did leave him with far fewer cards in hand. And
Right.
if you look at where that stands right now, Larsen clearly in the lead in that department.
Absolutely, Nathan needs to find some action here.
Just a land left for him, and look at that. Sheltered by Ghost, his own Ice Tail Explorer, and even a critical land at this mid part of the game, Bossing Say
Yeah.
for Larsen.
Oh, geez, and also a
another?
Mightform Harmonizer
Oh,
on
wow.
the top as well. think we're going to just see a Shelter by Ghost here to kick things off, because I don't think Chris Larsen wants to see any more Untitled Explorer triggers happening here.
And does he just put it on the Chocobo at this point?
Yeah, it also makes it so that if Nathan wants to kill it, it's going to cost a little more mana, as it does have Ward 2. And this grows, and you can get a nice, healthy attack for 6 in.
And it's
7.
And it's lifelink too.
Yeah. This also makes it way less likely for Nathan to somehow get a Harmonizer kill out of nowhere with that life gain.
So,
Needs action.
really important top decks here for Steuer. Oh, and he found a Harmonizer.
Did find an Harmonizer, and there's an escape tunnel on the battlefield and an escape tunnel in hand. So that would be 3 landfall triggers. Not quite enough based on what's in play right now. If you double up on the Badger Mole Cub 3 times, that's 4, then 8, then 16. Chris Larsen sitting at 25.
Wow, he was at 17 before, but that would have
been very close.
Very, very close.
But you still want to play it out here. That way, if Chris Larsen chooses to attack with Saz's Chocobo, you can block with one of your creatures, sacrifice a land, double the power to actually get the trade. But yeah, Chris Larsen's hand is fantastic. Look at that. There's an Untitled Explorer and Mightform Harmonizer in hand. I think he wants to keep hitting those land drops, so Untitled Explorer next turn makes a lot of sense.
That was what I was afraid of.
You know, he just drew it off the top of his library,
Right.
Chris, so.
Erode would be huge here. Just get that Harmonizer off the battlefield. Perhaps another Shelter by Ghosts.
In this case, it's another bossing say.
It's another bossing say. So now you don't have a great attack with the Saz's Chocobo, as Nathan can trade with the Mightform Harmonizer by sacrificing the escape tunnel, block the Harmonizer, turn it into an 8-powered creature.
So it's 16, right? You can
14.
stack your triggers.
Oh,
back.
sure, yeah. 16.
Yeah. 16 power coming in. Nathan Steuer is forced to block, just choosing to chump
You're
here.
at
41.
But that's 41 life now.
41. Hey, Nathan's done 64 damage in one
He
turn
has.
before.
The doubling can really get out of hand, but he would need to do a lot of work to get to that point. What did he find off the top of his library?
Not good enough.
Saz's Chocobo.
Yeah.
That's not what he was looking for.
This is rough, and now with Untitled Explorer, I mean, this Chocobo is going to gain so much life.
This is
Oh
going to
my
be
goodness.
absurd
Wait,
how much life it
yeah,
gains.
is there a Badger Mole Cub kill available here now? With the escape tunnel, is there a world where you can stack the trigger on the Cub, make it unblockable, and then play the escape tunnel and then sacrifice it again? That's 3 landfall triggers, right?
That is what he's going for.
That's 16 damage.
Yeah, Larsen looks like he is in fantastic shape here. That Badger Mole Cub is currently unblockable.
Unblockable, and it's now being doubled 3 times.
And he's got it. That is 2 games to 1 now for Christopher Larsen. We talked about it coming in here, Paul, but Larsen is trying to accomplish something no one ever has.
Yeah,
or a road.
And that's winning
Or
back-to-back individual Pro Tours.
you don't think it's enough? I have a
Yeah,
fetch land.
it is incredible. The,
but you
the
also
last
have
time
to
somebody
get
has
from
come
the-
even close to
right.
this
I don't know if
was
enough
Kai
the
in 2001.
thing. If it
Won Pro
becomes
Tour New
24.
York, the team event, into
I didn't do the math.
winning the individual Pro Tour and
3.
Pro Tour New Orleans. So one
Yeah,
was a
you
team
have
event. This is 2
4 land, 4
individual
triggers.
events.
It's not even enough.
No,
He
exactly.
is
yeah.
one
I
win
don't think
away.
it's enough, yeah.
But
If he can win one
have
of the
to win
next
that
2
turn
games,
then,
he will
right?
accomplish that. The chances of doing
oh, I
that
do.
are
I do have to win
absurdly
that turn. And I died to
low.
your Harmonizer.
I mean,
Even if you're one of the
You'll
best
get
Yeah,
pros.
the Pro Tour's been
Life
around
is
for
your own
30
shelter.
If it's
years.
Shelter, I'd gain like a billion life. Yeah.
Yeah, or like 16. 4
20.
plus 2.
No,
oh,
because
plus 1,
it's
yeah.
plus 1.
So it's 5, 3, 6.
20. Right?
Is there more? 3.
3, 6, 12, 24. Okay.
Yeah, and I was 25. Oh, you don't have to make it unblockable, so you can give it plus 1 more time by sacrificing the land, which means becomes,
48.
If you enjoy math,
Yeah,
and then it dies.
you can come on in.
Love resistance lives on.
a couple of Quandrix gamers here going over the numbers.
I need to use the restroom. I'll be quick.
All right, Chris is going to use the restroom real quick. Boy, I tell you, if I was either one of these 2 players, I'd need to take a deep breath
Take my
myself.
moves?
This is a
Absolutely.
very stressful matchup. You
Oh, yeah.
feel like you can die out of nowhere every time you pass the turn.
Yeah,
Michael
at least
Davis
you're
player
given
tried
access to a
flipping
little
it.
bit more
I'll
agency,
just say, I
though.
didn't put them there. You put them there yourself. When you took my sideboard. I like it. Don't get me wrong. You need to go to the restroom?
I'm fine.
Okay. I'm not. I'm old and I'm bursting.
You want to resolve mulligans?
No.
Okay.
I want to not resolve mulligans. That's the whole point. Let's just present.
Meanwhile, Nathan has to now stew. Just wait just a little bit here.
Yeah, he seems
know.
fine. He's been
Yeah.
here before.
All right. Hey, look, and a really nice comeback in this series so far for Chris Larsen, Ryan. Chris Larsen, he did seem a little bit rattled after losing that first game. But hey, you know, clean the slate, go on to game number 2, take that one down, and now he's up 2-1 in the series.
I got to say, one antidote to feeling that way is having your opponent open up the door for you to win a game that you felt you had lost yourself. He said when he made that big attack that he felt he already had lethal.
Right.
And then after he did, he said, oh, wait a minute.
I don't think it's good enough.
Right.
I don't. And
Yeah.
Steuer found the line. Not once, but twice. He had the ability to prevent lethal, and then Chris thought it was lethal, and it wasn't.
Right.
And but then
I mean, I think
Steuer put the shields down for
I think
one turn, and
Regardless of
I
the
think
outcome.
both players feel like maybe they let one slip away,
Yeah,
right?
that is how-
So you know, if you kind of put it in that way, perhaps, you know, the score count is what it should have been, right? If everybody played perfectly.
From my perspective, I was like, right?
I mentioned it before, Paul, briefly here, but you see Mason here's chatting with Nathan Steuer. We've got an amazing crew
I
behind
also thought he had
Yeah.
this broadcast. We've got Rich and Jeff in our ears helping us do our job, and I just want to thank everybody on the crew for their
later in that
fantastic work.
game-
We really do have the best in the business.
I was so shocked
Absolutely.
that he didn't go for lethal. And
Just
later
the
on in row.
caliber of players, even you know, with even you know the card viewer, cards in hand. We got Josh McLean on the card viewer as
Yeah.
well. So we have Hall of
Well, I
Famers
think
helping us
even if
out.
I thought my
Frank
opponent
does
had
this
a road in that
amazing
spot, I would
write-up
think, when does the game
to
get
help
better?
us
And I
prepare
guess
for
in
the
this
top
case,
8 as well. It's incredible. I don't know
I
where he
was thinking,
finds the
look at
time to
Russ's
do it.
7 is
Literally
down.
after
Like,
the Pro Tour top 8,
that many.
he will write down basically a full-on article on all the matchups in the top 8 to really help us out.
I read every single word he
Oh, you
writes
do.
in those.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
3 escape tunnels. So that's 4 good draws in his deck. Plus maybe.
Yeah, we're
additional
here at the
roads
Magic
and
Con in Las Vegas. This is
Hydra's not even
the
that
Pro
good
Tour is
for them,
just
but
one
shoot
part of a much bigger puzzle.
So I
If you
just
come
thought he
here,
would
I
go
mean,
for
they
lethal
have
in that
some
spot and make sure to
incredible
give him
stuff.
looks at his
Of course, all types of different
I
gameplay.
think my play was
But
bad
even
there. I just
beyond
got
that,
punished by exactly
you
how
know,
he navigated.
there's the main stage where we have all types of great
don't know.
shows and panels.
Could have been more patient. and
Artists
maybe
are all here. You can have your
Yeah.
favorite artists sign your card, or you can pick up a print from them of some of your favorite artwork. They literally had an event with cats here, Paul.
Yeah, and we went over to check it out between the rounds.
You can wait in line, go into this like shielded off area, and you can play with kittens.
Right.
And these are ones that are over at the shelter
already
near
got
here in
or-
Vegas as well.
See some pictures of the floor here.
There's the prize wall, by the way. That's where you go.
Actually,
To get
I
the
didn't think about it at
goods,
all, but I
Right?
played him.
Yeah, you win
Pocket.
some prize tickets. Go
like my-
cash that in for some
What's your name?
goodies. And there's even an entire section for content creators. So if you want to meet your favorite content creators, you know, we walk by. You know, Jimmy and Josh were doing a huge
Never
meet
heard
and
of
greet.
them.
Lots of good
Who's
stuff.
this? Jimmy? Never.
Just some people.
I'll
Some
have to,
dudes.
I'll have to look them up online. Yeah, all the content creators are here too. It is really a spectacle. All right, looks like Chris has rejoined us. No changes for the sideboards
I
here.
just want to see.
And Larsen is one game
I
away
just got a
from
little bit further than I
history.
expected.
Meanwhile, on the other side, Steuer, I mean, yes, it is not quite as flashy as back-to-back, but if Steuer were to win the next 2 games, I mean, he's already in kind of legendary status for his run over the last 3-4 years. This would put him
Chocobo.
in unbelievable rarefied air.
Yeah, he is only one of a
Playing a really
handful of
controlling
players
game.
who have top-aided 3 top-level events in a row, right? He top-aided and won the World Championship, top-aided the next 2 Pro Tours, including another win at Pro Tour March of the Machine.
I mean, that is, you know, if you take Kai out of the equation
You
as
see the
far
foil
as the
back
record
chocobo
books
we opened,
goes,
though, when we were looking
that
for
is one of the
restoration magic.
absolute best runs. Kai is untouchable.
Well,
as far
I
as,
mean,
as far as I'm concerned.
you did that a lot in other sports as well, where
Yes.
you're just like, oh, there's this
Really
one
pretty.
outlier.
Yeah, take Wilt out of the
take
equation.
Wilt
Yeah.
out. Kai is basically like that, where you kind of
And you're
take him
like,
out of the equation,
should've
and
played
then you can
Steuer,
start
should've
talking
won.
about, you know, the greatness of a lot of
they're
these other
kinda
modern
similar.
players.
Ours is
But
1 mana, and then on turn
Steuer's
5,
already
normal
up
land
there,
drop, it's
and
4/4 or
you know,
4/5.
back-to-back top
Yeah,
8s
just
on a
like
PT
that.
for Larsen is already extremely
on 5 years,
impressive.
like,
He won one of
48,
them. That's
47
even more
chocobo.
impressive. Now he's a game away from maybe back-to-back. And again, that's historical.
Yeah.
The PT's been around for over 30 years, and nobody's ever done that. I find it extra impressive that it's in the modern era
Yes.
as well, where everybody's well prepared. Everybody knows what's going on.
Yeah. Just the average, the floor, the average skill level of the players have gone up tremendously to the point where just any match, doesn't matter who you're playing, where they're from, you're going to have a tough match ahead of you.
Okay, game 4 incoming. I do think that Larsen's on 6.
Good to go?
He is. He's also on the draw. So this is going to be Steuer leading things off. Does he have
A
an
one-lander?
explosive draw?
Did Chris keep a one-lander?
Chris did.
Okay. Chocobo. Still needs to land. Is he going to have to erode his own Chocobo just to hit land number 2?
That would be the backup plan, but he could find a land.
I mean, if he just
or
goes landing to Badger
pushback.
Mole Cub, that would be great, of course.
Yeah, he took a high upside 6 here after mulliganing,
Right.
but it is precarious.
Mm-hmm.
Still, he's on the draw and has 2 shots at hitting that land.
Right. In a
I
deck
see
that
where
has
he's
a ton
coming
of
from.
lands.
Right. What is it, 26, as you say?
Usually that's the number.
So that's going to be...
Oh, excuse me, doesn't even have white mana. The Hushwood Verge, we're so used to it being turned on, but right now it's only tapping for green mana until you can find a Forest or Plains.
Boy, so much pressure on the top of the
Right.
library here for Larsen
Big
as
draw.
we see Steuer develop his mana but not have an explosive start. Can he find a land? No, it's a Llanowar Elves. He can cast that though at least, right?
It is a mana source.
Done?
Nathan going, oh, nothing else? No land?
That's good news and bad news for Nathan because a stumbling opponent is somebody that you would normally want to have a really fast draw against, and that's not what he has. That means that Larsen's on 5 spells here. And if he finds his mana, he could start deploying them. Can Steuer get something going? I mean, all he's done is develop his mana for these first turns. That's it?
That's it. Now, he does have Erode, but against an opponent who missed land drops, not really the removal spell you want to fire off here.
Wow.
He does have the Llanowar, but what he wants to do, because of course he could have just run out of Mossborn Hydra, he wants to play the Mossborn Hydra with Snakeskin Veil backup, which he does have. So next turn, it's going to be huge, right? He has a Fabled Passage in hand, so he goes Mossborn Hydra into Fabled Passage. Excuse me, does he have a Badger Mole Cup? No, yeah. So he's going to go Mossborn Hydra here into Fabled Passage, and all of a sudden we're looking at a 4/4 with Snakeskin Veil backup.
Potential combo finish here for Steuer against the stumbling Larsen. Steuer has really boiled everything down to 2 cards, Mossborn Hydra and Snakeskin Veil. He's going to go ahead and main phase. Oh,
So if he was going to sack the Fabled Passage in the first place, I wonder if you wanted to...
he's shaking his head. What did he do there?
So if he played out the Badger Mole Cub, he would have had
got an
some
extra
extra
land.
mana. But
Yeah.
I think what he wants to do now is not only keep up Snakeskin Veil for the Mossborn Hydra, but you can play Badger Mole Cub and target the Fabled Passage. That's an additional landfall trigger.
And there it is, Fabled Passage after double Chocobo here from Larsen. He has gone wide and found his mana. The question is it too late against the Hydra?
Right, because next turn, Nathan Steuer has the ability to get in for a ton of damage and has, most importantly, Snakeskin Veil backup and found a land drop for the turn. Nathan probably just has lethal this turn.
It is feeling that way. Or one of those things where Larsen has to put his whole board in front and it doesn't really work either way.
Because Nathan can also erode his own creature to get an additional land. That would be 32 damage, right? Badger Mole Cub, Fabled
8,
Passage,
16, 32.
sacrifice 2 landfall triggers. That puts it up to 16 damage. Erode your own creature. That's 32 damage with Snakeskin Veil backup against a singular white mana on Christoffer Larsen's side of the battlefield. That Fabled Passage can't get an untapped land, so Chris Larsen can only play 1 spell.
That's right. He has the Erode, but it's not enough against the Veil.
18. No bucks.
And that should be game.
Yeah, going for it here. Snakeskin Veil, very, very key here.
Triggers, so it becomes a 16 right now.
Yep.
Yep, 2 landfall triggers. Fabled Passage comes back. Forest enters the battlefield. Nathan will now choose to erode his own creature.
And with only 1 mana available, he knows he has the win here.
Road, triggered here.
Do you have Veil?
Do you have Veil?
Yep.
Because I have a Road. And
That's
yes, I
it.
do have Snakeskin Veil.
Tell me
And
when
that
it's gonna
means
make sense.
Game 5 is incoming
Oh,
between
man.
Christoffer Larsen and Nathan Steuer. Boy, they are really putting on a show
Gotta
for us here.
sweat here for the audience.
Wouldn't have it any
That is some crazy
other
for Game 5.
way. Another Game 5 in the finals of a Pro Tour. Chris
that's
Larsen
pretty
has
crazy.
been here before.
Already?
Yeah, don't you think?
Yeah. Just mean you want to do some crazy sideboard stuff.
What do you got?
I saw Nathan Steuer say, hey, we got to do it for the audience, right? Yes.
Doing it for
thank
me
you.
too. I'm
We-
enjoying
we
this
do.
as much as all of you.
We're definitely part of the audience here in the booth. Thank you so much for joining us here from Las Vegas. We just have one more game to play here at this Pro Tour before one of these two players is going to become the Pro Tour Secrets of Strixhaven champion. We're going to take a short break here from Vegas. When we come back, though, game number 5. Don't go anywhere.
Hey everybody, welcome back to coverage of Pro Tour Secrets of Strixhaven, and that's right, we get a Game 5 here in our finals, and it's been a great one so far. Welcome back to the news desk, Marie Bartholdi and Mani Devuti. Now Mani, as far as finals go at the Pro Tour, where would you rank this one?
I mean, already it's been fantastic, but the fact that no matter who wins this game, the outcome is legendary means that this is, one of my favorite finals, at least in terms of storytelling, that we've had in a while, if not ever.
Yeah, okay, so talk a little bit about the legendary status that you've given this finals. How are we getting legendary either way?
Yeah, so there's multiple elements, right? It's the fact that they're teammates. It's the fact that the team and Chris Larsen won the previous Pro Tour. It's the fact that Nathan, coming back after a dry stretch, I would say, he had an absolutely incredible run. Everyone he was saying he is the undisputed best player in the world, top 8 at 3 events in a row, won 2 of them, and then he had about a year and a half of just near silence, missing day 2, not getting the results in, and suddenly he was off the Pro Tour, comes back, doesn't requalify, wins a PTQ on the Sunday, back again, now he's in this position. Great. Chris Larsen, back-to-back individual wins, something nobody has ever done. Come on.
I know, we are just setting ourselves up for a fantastic final game 5 no matter what. Let's take a look at the bracket, everybody, just to remind ourselves how we got here to this moment. Take a look, Christoffer Larsen, Nathan Steuer tied up at 2 games apiece here in our finals. Monty, if you had a wish here for game 5, what would you most want to see?
Anthony Lee running in through the barrier. Just
I think you're going to get that no matter what. Oh, taking the trophy.
Yeah, no.
All right.
Claiming it as his own. Honestly, I think I just want both players to keep 7, and I want a game that feels close. It really doesn't matter who wins. I think Magic as a whole wins today.
Absolutely, it does. We've got to crown a champion. Marshall and Paul, take us to game 5.
Yeah, thank you, Maria. Welcome back to the booth here. They talked about it, Paul. Legendary status acquired for either of these players. I mean, the run that Steuer had in 2022, and then to put yet another Pro Tour victory on that resume, 2 PT wins in a Worlds is like nobody. And then a back-to-back individual for Larsen here. The stakes don't get higher than a PT finals, but they somehow are for this one.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of where you kind of get into the legendary status with regards to Magic the Gathering accomplishments, right? We have a Pro Tour champ at every single one of these events, but being able to go, being able to be a 2-time Pro Tour champ, not a lot of people who can say that back-to-back never happened before.
Right?
Okay. First,
That should beat the perfect 7 even.
first stage for you and I, Paul. Let's get some 7s kept here and get ourselves
That would be
a game.
nice.
Well, I just meant like the perfect lineup.
Chris said, I'm gonna once again go to the perfect 7, and he is shuffling again. So I think he's on 6.
But
And I guess
Nathan's
Steuer
also
too?
mulliganing. Okay, well, what if they just both agree to start with 0 and just see what happens?
You know, I have actually seen that happen. Not at the Pro Tour. But
All right.
there was a vintage invitational in 2007 where that happened.
Wow,
Yeah, whatever happens, the win-win, dude.
It was in
So happy for
Valencia.
us.
that is nuts.
Crushed it. That's awesome.
I wouldn't do that.
was
I want my, I wanted, because back then you win the
Thank you.
invitationals, you get your face on a Magic
yeah.
card.
Well, you're still 50-50, right?
I guess technically yes.
I would definitely only do that in the mirror.
One
I'll tell
comeback
you that.
PT.
Yeah.
What was that?
One comeback PT.
One comeback PT.
You didn't play the last one, right?
I did. No. This is my
Okay.
second. Last one, I won the PTQ on Sunday to re-queue.
Oh, that's not what it was.
Yeah, I was all the way in the back. You didn't see me. You're too busy.
Just needed to back in the fold.
Yeah. Well, and for you, 2 wins in a row. Pretty sick.
The system and I'm here just shows that the Spanish house does something right. There's always room for one gringo.
Maybe make it 2.
Chris giving props to his testing partners.
Yeah, absolutely. He gives so much credit to. He has given so much credit to Javier Dominguez,
Yes.
of course, with that Excruciator deck that he won with
You're 6
at
again.
the Pro Tour in Richmond, and also, of course, the entire team for the development of the Selesnya build of the Landfall deck.
Wow, this is bad.
Larsen might be going to 5 here.
Oh, geez.
He said, wow, this is bad.
Oh,
and he's
no.
shipping it back. What about on the other side?
Now Nathan is down to 6. He hasn't seen yet. What do we have?
No, he
Oh,
did
he's
look,
sending it
and they're
back.
both going to 5.
What?
Draw the game? I don't think that's good for me.
No, you're on the draw. I understand. That's the craziest thing I could figure out.
I mean, this is kind of incredible, but,
Yeah.
you know, given that it's the
multiple one, I can
mirror,
It's even. They're both
and
on
they're both
5.
on 5, it
Well, I
kind
guess
of
that's
just
also
keeps it
not fair because
fine.
you get to pick the perfect
It does
card.
make it more exciting because probably we're just gonna,
Like a
it's gonna
land.
go down to top deck mode, right?
Yes, it is. That's our commentator brain kicking
The only
in.
thing I
for
think about
sure.
is it's drawing
Well,
and go
they
back to
played
7.
their Landmar Elf and Badger Mold Cub. What can they draw?
It's better for me than this for you.
Yeah, let's just go to 5.
That makes also sense.
Fewer resources to work with,
Kind of funny though.
and the ideal.
Both mold to 5. I don't think me and my opponent have mold to 5 this entire tournament.
I don't think either.
Waiting for the perfect time. Game 5 of the
I guess
finals
so.
of the Pro Tour.
Making it this far, you probably don't want to 5 that much.
I feel relieved. Because it doesn't matter what the number is as long as it's the same.
It's the same on both
Right?
sides.
Like,
It's still just an even
but
matchup.
if
I was
it's a
the one who said
7
it to.
versus a 5, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's going to be tough.
Right,
You
of
know?
course.
Talking to a random guy, and Steph goes by like, "Did sub 8? Yeah, just randomly talking about." He's like, "I don't think I'm mulligan the whole weekend.
Not
Save
one.
them up.
I'll keep."
Okay.
All right.
Chris has a keeper.
He has a keeper.
He's got to put 2 cards back. It looks like a little land heavy as force was the first
Right.
one.
I see an erode. And what do we have for
What
Nathan?
about
There's,
Steuer? Does he have a key?
I see 2 lands. No, at least 2 lands.
If
And a
there's 2
Badger Mole
lands,
Cub.
it's got to be a key.
Oh, yeah. At this point, you know, Snakeskin Veil is kind of a luxury to have. Probably one of the first cards you put on the bottom once you're on a mulligan to 5.
Yeah, unless you have the Hydra.
Right, like Landward Elf, Land, Hydra, Snakeskin Veil. Something
Right,
along
that
those
might be
lines.
worth it, but
Yeah, but
I wish.
certainly going to keep at least 2 lands in Badger Mole Cub here. Mindform Harmonizer might go into the graveyard. He's got some
yeah, he's got a lot of top end here. He has
Right.
Ice Till and Mightform Harmonizer
Right,
in this opener.
yeah.
But it's just, those are the cards he's keeping.
Right. Looks like keeping 2 lands, Badger Mole Cub. Tough double mulligan here. Oh, is he setting aside the cards that he wants to keep?
Yes.
Oh, multiple Badger Mole Cubs, so keeping 1 at least.
Oh, I see. But the land was in there. So
Right.
you know he wants a cub, a land,
Yeah, 2 lands and a cub.
and then
What are the other 2 cards
yeah,
you want to
you
keep?
probably don't want the Snakeskin Veil.
Right.
So is which of the top end?
Right. Do you want to keep both of the top end? You can keep 2 lands, cub, both top end.
Yes.
Or if you think Chris Larsen might have a removal spell for one of the cubs, you can keep 2 lands, 2 cubs, and 1 top end card.
Ice Till is the one that tends to get you further ahead as the game goes longer, but Harmonizer can slam the door
Right.
if Larsen has a sketchy hand.
Oh, Larsen does have a sketchy hand. That's 3 lands, a Chocobo, and a Bushwhack.
Wow.
He can kill one of the Badger Mole Cubs.
Yeah. I
Right.
think he's hoping to be able to kill Llanowar Elves.
Right.
Might get a little better than that.
By
Right.
top draw.
Turn 1 Chocobo. All right.
All right, a
There
handshake
we
between
go.
the friends,
Ready?
teammates, and competitors, and we are underway in game number 5.
Check him out.
Larsen does that every time.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that's not the last time I'm going to hear that.
I feel like they've probably said it a few times during testing.
Indeed. Steuer unfazed.
19 to 18.
Down to
There's a
19.
land.
So Larsen looking to leverage Bushwhack here,
Right.
and he's going to be able to,
Yeah, he's going to be able to get that Badger Mole Cub off
but
the
he
battlefield.
needs action. He finds a Harmonizer off the
Hey,
top.
that definitely counts. Now you can go land into Bushwhack, kill the Badger Mole Cub, and attack for 2.
This is pretty nice, actually, because, you know, he wasn't going to be able to cast a Harmonizer this turn anyway.
Right, and Nathan doesn't really have a great play next turn. I suppose he can play a Shelter by Ghost, but actually Scratch that did find Saz's Chocobo off the top here, so you can go Saz's Chocobo into Hushwood Verge into Shelter by Ghost to get perhaps the Chocobo off the battlefield. That does keep you a little bit exposed to perhaps an Erode in Larsen's hand. But remember, both players mulligan the 5. A lot of the times it's just okay to assume they don't have it. Also, if you get eroded, it's not the end of the world. Nathan has a pair of 4-drops that he wants to accelerate out anyways.
Yeah, the players are going to have to adjust their expectations about what the opponent may or may not have, given the lack of resources that they have available. That's a really important thing on a mulligan to 5. If you get a little too cute and try to play around everything, you often give your opponent way more time than they normally would get.
Right. However, this is a matchup where both times the players that chose not to play around something ended up losing. So that could be something that's lingering in the back of their minds.
Yeah, I mean, Chris said it was in that
Yeah.
second game. He was like, yeah, I didn't go for it because look what happened in the first.
Right. I just assumed you had the erode.
Right.
So does Nathan fire off Shelter by Ghost here?
That's a big question.
Yeah. Oh,
No, he's going
hold
to
it.
wait.
He's thinking, okay, I don't care too much about the Chocobo, but I do care about a
is that a
potential
Hydra?
4-drop.
That's
Okay.
a Hydra. So he's going to play
Okay.
that first and then play a land.
Yeah.
That's
And
big.
wow, Steuer's really happy he kept Sheltered by Ghost
Right,
now. 'Cause this
absolutely.
Chocobo's not going to kill him, right?
No, no, absolutely not. Steuer deciding whether or not he wants to just block with the 1/1 token here, get another landfall trigger here, maybe off of the Saz's Chocobo. Of course, we know that Nathan Steuer has the answer to the Mossborn Hydra in that
14.
Sheltered by Ghosts.
Right?
And Fabled Passage is going to stay unsacrificed here for Larsen.
Right, given the fact that he's got that Mindform Harmonizer that could be representing a lethal attack next turn if Nathan Steuer doesn't go for a Shelter by Ghosts here.
Yeah.
But of course he has to.
Still, this isn't bad for Larsen.
Right, this is an attack for 2 coming in, and Nathan doesn't have a land drop this turn. And I mean, even if Chris warps in the Mindform Harmonizer next turn with that, if he finds another fetch land, right, that will be a ton of damage. Now, noting the Chocobo doesn't have trample, and there is a 1/1 token available, a 1/1 land available to block here.
That was Sheltered by Ghost now for Larsen.
Right, so you can utilize that Shelter by Ghost to remove Nathan's Shelter by Ghost if you like to get your Hydra back. If you want to kill the actual Chocobo, then you would have to actually sacrifice the Fabled Passage because you need to pay the Ward 2 cost on the Shelter by Ghost.
That might be worth it.
Yeah, you do miss out on a landfall trigger.
Yes.
But it looks like...
But you get both things off the battlefield if you do that. All right, Larsen's going to go big. He's going for Mindform Harmonizer right now.
Right. No double here, though.
No, but the Chocobo does get to attack for 4.
That's right.
Steuer stumbling on mana. You can see Larsen's up to 4 and hard casting 4 drops at this point, where Steuer's only on 2 plus the animated land there, the earthbended land, as it were.
No land in play here is rough. Now, Chris's side.
Land is come free. Or pass.
That's a great no attack here from Larsen
Wow.
here, because you would think, hey, I just want to get that 1/1 off the battlefield, but how do I lose this game? You block with the 1/1, pump up the Chocobo, warp in a Harmonizer, play a fetch land, all of a sudden you gain a gazillion life. So doesn't want that 1 extra counter on the Chocobo, because with multiple doubling effects, that's a ton of damage.
And he knows that next turn he can take that thing out. Boy, there's not a lot of bad top decks from Larsen from this point, right?
Right.
Like lands are fine. Fetch lands are really good.
Untitled Explorer would be
Untitled
fantastic.
Explorer would be maybe the best.
Interaction. Yeah, really, really ahead here for Chris Larsen. Now, Nathan Steuer did find a land. That is a Fabled Passage. That's a good one, too, because if you play it, you get to grow the Saz's Chocobo, and Nathan Steuer does have Untitled Explorer in hand, so you can maybe try to get in for a decent amount of damage and hit a bunch of your land drops.
Wow, this is a really close game for Game 5.
What are we doing here? Is it a Mindform Harmonizer? He's tapping 3 mana. Nope. I mean, this is the big turn here for Nathan. What
So
he
what
plays.
did he find? Fabled Passage?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And he found Ascension. Okay.
All right, so that's what he's going for. So not going to play the 4-drop this turn, but will be able to get in for a pretty good chunk of damage if he wants. But remember, Christoffer Larsen can simply block. And then if the Chocobo dies on Nathan's side, then Chris Larsen gets back his Mossborn Hydra.
Right, so this is a
Sounds about right.
risky proposition here for
counter before
Steuer.
the start of the turn. Yeah.
So just playing defense here, possibly.
Yep, he's just going to pass the turn back
Right.
over to Larsen.
Yeah, and remember,
But
Chris Larsen has
he's
access to lots of
exposed.
damage. Yeah, certainly is, but no source of trample damage. That is a land, so that's at least 1 landfall trigger with the Mindform Harmonizer. Now remember, he also has Sheltered by Ghosts in hand.
Right?
Has can just completely get rid of the Saz's Chocobo, but the thing is, you also leave yourself vulnerable to Snakeskin Veil if you target the Chocobo instead of the Shelter by Ghosts.
He's
Goes
going to go
for
for
it.
it, though. He's going big. This is probably Chris recognizing
goes
you're
for
on
it.
5. You can't have it all.
Right.
And he gets his Hydra back
Oh, man.
and takes the huge lifelinker off the battlefield. And a big shake of the head there from Steuer.
That is huge.
He
now you get to play
needed
a land.
Larsen to not have that.
Right.
Now he plays his land,
Right.
doubles the Hydra, and he's going to attack with both, including the Harmonizer on the double.
And look at all these triggers. 6 damage from the Chocobo and 8 damage from the Mindform Harmonizer. That's 14 damage coming in.
Steuer is distraught. He has to get himself back together and see if he can find a way out. He's caught 2 of his most powerful spells in hand, but he is under assault from Larsen.
Yeah, Steuer thinking, is there any world here where I can turn this around and kill you next turn?
Try to steal one.
Right.
And take 6 and sack this.
Yep.
So
And it's
there's
lifelink as
2
well.
counters on it.
Larsen has a blocker with a Hydra.
Right.
Not ideal, but
Yeah.
better than dying block.
Has access to a lot of mana now. Chris Larsen also has a blocker here, but if somehow Nathan Steuer can get
This goes for free.
Yes.
This goes to the one.
it, Earthbender Ascension
yes,
will be
thank you.
online next turn, right? So now you have Mindform
yeah,
Harmonizer
yeah.
and Icefall Explorer. Is there a world where Nathan can
Imagine this is the
get
time I call
enough
Judge.
landfall triggers here to actually swing back
Rush.
here?
That would be
Starting from a 1/1.
Perhaps an interactive spell could also get it done, right?
I mean, he does have to choose if he wants to play Ice Till, then he can play Harmonizer, but not
Right.
the other way around.
But then you miss
right?
out on a bunch of the landfall
Exactly.
triggers.
You can't. You can have both, but not with all the extra triggers.
Now, what can you do for 2 mana here? Yeah, I think Nathan may have needed 1 more turn here.
It does feel like
Full
that.
Explorer.
If anybody can find the line, though, it's Steuer.
Absolutely.
So he's got Ice Till.
Just doesn't have enough mana here to get that doubling effects from the Harmonizer.
Now, what about Chris's turn?
I'm gonna mill one.
Does he have lethal
Play
lined
no
up
land.
for sure?
Right, if Chris doesn't have a land,
Right.
he might not even be able to get in for the big attack next turn, right? Now, if he finds a fetch land, of course, it's very likely to be over, given the fact that there is a Mossborn Hydra and a Teamer Harmonizer, which represents 4 doubling
Mills on
effects.
next.
Yeah, the Mindform Harmonizer.
Wait, this
Such a
first
key
land
here.
Triggers
Yeah.
respond to them.
Yeah.
By cracking. This has to.
Larsen wants to see
Well, I guess it doesn't have to. do
Ice
that.
Till
Right now, I have
Explorer off
2
the
of
top
these
of his
triggers on the stack
library.
and
Yeah.
2 mills on
So
the
Nathan
stack.
just trying to get as many lands in play, move around a bunch of
protection
+1/+1 counters so he doesn't die on the next turn here, but does not have a lethal situation here. But
I'm wondering if he would for the next turn.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
If Chris Larsen can't find a way to force Nathan to chump block everything. If maybe Chris doesn't find a land, Nathan might be able to pull it off next turn with a maxed down Earthbender Ascension, with Ice Till Explorer, and with Mindform Harmonizer.
And then the 2 counters.
Yeah.
Sure.
But if Chris Larsen can find Ice Till Explorer, a removal spell, so many good draws here.
Fetch land would be high on the list. I assume just a forest or
Yeah,
something
I
isn't
mean-
enough.
Right, a fetch land turns the Mossborn Hydra. That's 4 doubling effects, right? Because you get 2 landfall triggers, so Mossborn Hydra triggers twice, and then you have the Mindform Harmonizer, which also triggers twice. So that would turn it from a 2/2 to a 4, 8, 16, 32, 32 Mossborn Hydra. And Nathan Sawyer's at 10 life.
7,
If he finds a single land, that's 16 damage of trample.
2.
No, excuse me. 8 damage of trample, right?
Triggers.
Because you played a land, turns into a 4/4, and then you
11
target the
resolve.
Mindform Harmonizer. There's also a Bossing Say on the battlefield. That's perhaps 2 more points of damage that you can try to sneak through.
That's for Larsen.
Yes.
This is about as close as they get, but it does
Right.
feel like Larsen is going to have a top deck to try to become a back-to-back Pro Tour champion here. As Steuer does not have a win here. Let's see
Right,
if
here we
Larsen can
go.
find something to win the game this turn.
Fabled Passage.
It's just a forest.
Just a land. Will that be enough here?
Can he gain a huge amount of life and buffer himself against a crackback?
It's going to be so much damage with the Harmonizer, right? I mean, it's just with already a 6-power Ice Till Explorer, 5 landfall triggers next turn, Fabled Passage in play, it has to be lethal by just way too much.
Okay, so no.
No. So does Chris needs to find a lethal attack this turn?
He's so close, but he found a forest that had to be one of the worst draws for him here.
Right, Ice Till Explorer would have won in the game.
Think of
A
fetch land.
removal spell in a road
Yes.
would have made it so he doesn't die next turn. Sheltered by ghosts.
Yes.
Fetch land. He
just didn't want to see like a Saz's Chocobo or a Forest.
Right. I think at least like 30% of his deck were outs.
Yeah.
Okay, he's going to activate Bossing Say.
The most amount of damage you
lethal.
can get through.
Oh, and look, Nathan Steuer says, I have
You can play it out.
lethal. He says, we can
You're
play it
10.
out.
Yeah.
But Larsen didn't find the card he needed.
Chris is
And Steuer says, I've got
You have
you.
to jump with this guy.
right.
I don't think so, but feel
Okay.
free to go through it.
Oh, he does. I mean, Mossborn Hydra is an 8-power
Okay.
trampler,
He's
right?
saying,
Oh.
can I force you to chump with this guy?
Yeah.
And
don't think
Steuer
Nathan has
says,
that.
yeah,
I have
why
another
don't we go
forest in my
through
deck,
it?
so it's a 9.
But it dies, right?
That's why I made it.
It's
That's
a-
why I-
well, right. It's
I figured out because
currently
it's 7.
a 6/8. You
In my mind,
sacrifice the
this is a
Fabled
6.
Passage and becomes a 7/9
Or it is.
with the Earthbender Ascension,
Right.
so you keep it alive.
And then he chump blocks the
Think about it, whether
Harmonizer.
or not you had that.
Or the Saz's Chocobo.
Or the
It doesn't have
Chocobo, I
trample,
mean,
and you
and
take
takes
6 damage
6.
and you go to 4.
Block
right.
there,
With the Fabled
there.
Passage, Ice-Tail Explorer will live.
Still block there.
Oh my
close.
goodness.
I had the Harmonizer.
Larsen is doing the numbers here.
Wow.
There. In my mind, this was a 6 toughness.
No,
This is
I
why
made
was
it to a
like-
9
Yeah,
exactly
but
to play
I
around
mean, it
that.
makes perfect sense for
Yeah.
that it is. Yeah.
Steuer thinks he's won this. Larsen is just going through the motions, but it does look like Nathan Steuer is going to complete here.
I mean, you see the smile on his face. He knows he has this.
Damage.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Nate. You just won the
And that's going to do it. Nathan Steuer is your Secrets of Strixhaven champion. And he's now a 2-time PT champ and a world champ,
Unbelievable.
putting himself in legendary status here on the Pro Tour.
What an incredible run. Wouldn't have it any other way. 2 incredible competitors. Nathan Steuer, though, completely locked in this top 8 and finds himself now a 2-time Pro Tour champion.
Awesome for Larsen to be able to congratulate his friend and teammate, as well as he had a very live draw to win this Pro Tour. He missed, and Steuer completed the job. What a run here for Nathan Steuer. He made his way back on the Pro Tour last time. Then on Sunday, if you don't make it to Sunday, they will run a PTQ that these Pro Tour players will play in. That's a Pro Tour qualifier.
Right.
He won that, and that's how he qualified for this event.
That's right. He played in the last Pro Tour, didn't have a good enough record for that qualification. And here we are. Well, not going to have to worry about qualifications for the remainder of this season.
You can see a huge team.
Luis Salvato
Heavy
there.
play there. Cosmos giving him hugs.
What a dominant performance from this team at this event. The 2 finalists on the deck of the tournament.
That's the storyline that we don't even see with these 2
Right.
shooting stars at the top, is absolutely crushing this field, including locking up a PT win for that team regardless of outcome. You just don't see that very often.
No, you do not. Yeah, and I mean, what a crazy matchup too. Just no matter who wins, this is a historical finish for either player.
That's right. Amazing stuff. Steuer knew there's a lot of cards that can beat me here, but once Chris turned up that basic forest, he said, I've got you.
And if you're Chris, you have to be wondering, you know, so many different cards, right? He has 7 or 8 removal spells after sideboard. He has 9 fetch lands in his deck. He's got the Ice-Tail Explorer. There were so many cards he could have drawn in that spot. Just the basic land was not enough. And of course, Nathan, very familiar with the matchup, knew exactly. He's like, look, I can play around a basic land. If you play a basic land, my Ice-Tail Explorer is big enough. But if you draw a fetch land, I know I'm dead, but I'm going to play around that, see what happens. And of course, mathed everything out perfectly, and here he is,
And
2-time champ.
And that was really critical, because it wasn't just about surviving the turn. If he was going to win on the other side, he needed that Harmonizer on the battlefield.
Yeah.
And that was the critical juncture, is that he could get it all the way up to 9 toughness and not only block, but haven't survived.
Yeah, and it's super crucial. Sometimes when you're going off and you have that Earthbender Ascension in play, you kind of just figure, you're like, oh, well, I have a 1-1, maybe I'll make that one bigger. Okay, maybe I'll do this one. He's like, no, I need to stack all of my counters onto the Ice-Tailed Explorer to make sure that I have a blocker that can survive the Mossborn Hydra.
All right, well, that is going to do it for us in the booth. An incredible finals. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's send it over to Maria.
Thank you so much, Marshall and Paul, Maria and Monty here at the news desk with you. And Monty, what a finals that was. Your reaction?
I was hoping for 7s, but 5 will do.
5 will do.
Look, that was fantastic. Deserving champion, deserving runner-up. Just great stuff from Team Cosmos. The fact that, you know, this is their 2nd year as an organization. The first year, maybe some growing pains. 2nd year, first Pro Tour, 2 people in the top 8, win it. 2nd Pro Tour, 2 people in the top 8 and crush the whole event, win it. Feels like we're in a new era right now.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that, Monty, because, you know, Anthony Lee has done a lot putting this team together, kind of organizing it differently than anybody has seen here at the Pro Tour level before. What did he do to create this magic?
I mean, part of it is just picking up the very best players in the world, right? The fact that Javier and Ely are survivors. They've made everyday too. They're both on this team now. The fact that Nathan Steuer in the conversation for modern great is on this team now. It really does just speak to the fact that if you can get the right personalities and talent on the same team and everyone is able to put the work in, then you're going to see results. And this team is, I think, going to just keep putting up results for a while.
All right, it's time to hand out a trophy, so I'll pass it on over to Tannen Grace.
Nathan, you're our Pro Tour champion. How does it feel?
It's incredible. Thanks so much, Tannen.
You're now a 2-time Pro Tour champion and a World champion. Have you really sunk in yet, the legacy that this just secured for you?
Not yet. I mean, part of this tournament experience has been working with Team Cosmos and having, you know, these amazing folks and individuals behind me that I've gotten to test with. And I think more so than anything, being in the finals versus a teammate who I worked on the deck with, et cetera, has been just a huge, huge celebration in its own right. So this is just another win on top of that.
All right, I want to bring you back a couple days. You 8-0 day 1 of this Pro Tour, top of the world. You're feeling great. Day 2, not so great. You started losing a few matches. It looked like the stress might have been getting to you a little bit. How do you keep your composure when something like that is going on?
It's challenging. I mean, part of playing in these tournaments is being resilient and fighting back from tough matches, but part of what helps me keep my composure is just knowing that what I really want to do is show up and play my best Magic, and for me that means trying to find ways of resetting. I honestly had some moments during the tournament where I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to, that were challenging, but having, again, such a great group of friends helped me get back to where I wanted to be in that tournament headspace and ultimately take down the trophy.
One last question. Your team obviously broke it. Like, your deck was great. You're playing a teammate in the finals, practically the same 75 that you're within about 4 cards of each other. Talk me through that whole process. You had 3 testing houses. It seemed like it could have been a mess, but it all came together with possibly the best outcome.
Well, part of it is that our team is really, really good at being innovative. One, we did a great job with this deck. But the other part is that we're willing to make changes last minute, and this deck was something we discovered a few days beforehand, thanks to Javier Dominguez, 2-time world champion, who had a lot of help. And no, everyone on the team was really crafty with all of the different slots, and for my personal contribution, hopefully being a presence that can help tune the decks and make sure that we had good plans was something that ended up with our success being the way it turned out.
Well, Nathan, congratulations. This is yours. You're allowed to take it now. Everybody give it up for your Pro Tour champion of Secrets of Strixhaven, Nathan Steuer.
Huge congratulations to Nathan Steuer, our newest Pro Tour champion. smiles and applause all around from his teammates and a huge crowd that has gathered here in the Pro Tour area to congratulate him.